Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Game Time Ty. Let me make sure I'm not muted. Yeah, okay, we're good. Y'all should hear me. Should be able to hear me. What's good, y'all? Hey, how you doing? We got a lot of folks in the chat. It's Friday, TGIF. It's feeling good, man. I'm feeling good after a long work week for sure. So long, in fact, that I didn't even get to watch much preseason action. So we're gonna look through some of the highlights today. I want to look through some of the highlights from last night. What's up, Walt? What's up, Nico? What's up, Starry Skies? We got Rasha on the horn as well. Let me get him in the chat. Yo, Rasha, holler if you're there. I think he might still be AFK. But we got Rasha on the call. And then, I heard a bunch of crazy, maybe not super crazy stuff. Obviously, like Tyson is hurt, Jordan Tyson on the Saints. Apparently, we saw people like Jeremiah Love ball out last night. But he also left the game with like a little bit of a tweak or something like that. So we'll cover all that stuff, but definitely, a lot of news for sure. A lot of, potential big names actually missing time, oddly enough, which is why I always advocate for late drafts, towards as close to the end of this or end of the preseason as possible, right? Towards the beginning of the actual season. So we'll see what else is going on, but yeah. Nico Dobbs says, I can't wait to hear your feedback on all the games from last night. Well, we're gonna go through them in real time. That'll be cool. Stribling was electric with the 49ers. Mike Washington looked like a beast with the Raiders. Interesting. Okay, so those are some pretty good takes. And Starry Skies is saying, forgetting Love in the highlights is crazy. That boy was balling hard. Yeah, we're gonna definitely check him out as well. I'm just looking at these stats right here. These are some of the preseason leaders, right? So Carson Beck had a pretty good game. It looks like Fernando Mendoza actually has a pretty decent passer rating, which is, I guess, a nice little bonus, right, to the preseason experience. Especially if you're a Raiders fan, you probably like to hear that. Jeremiah Love isn't a bad offense. I wouldn't say the offense as a whole is bad. I would say they have bad parts of the offense, like their offensive line in particular. The Arizona Cardinals should actually surprise a lot of people offensively this year. They got a lot of weapons, and now Mike LaFleur, their head coach, that's his name, right? Yeah, Mike LaFleur, who's Matt LaFleur's younger brother, who was just the OC at the Rams. He should have this team looking pretty fucking solid, right? So that's what I'll say. Where's the hat at, Ty? Oh, dude, I just washed my hair. I'm trying to let it breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, usually I do wear a hat. You're right. Today you guys are getting the hatless look because I want to let my head get a little breath, fresh air especially after I just washed it. But the Titans are bad. Yeah, I heard the Titans struggled last night. We'll definitely talk about that too. I guess just going over like sort of the scores from last night. Bengals look good. Definitely, the starters played, I think, one series. I don't know if they did end up scoring the touchdown. Like I said, I only got to see some highlights, but I guess we'll just start talking about these games and watching the highlights in real time. But the rest of the games, pretty much the only big ones that I want to cover for sure. Cardinals, Raiders. I want to take a look at what the Cardinals look like. And then Titans, 49ers. I definitely want to see what all the hype is looking like with Stribling, as well as maybe the struggles that we saw go on with Carnell Tate. I don't think he caught a single one of his targets, right? So that's definitely some news. And so I'm just here on the phone. Let me know if I missed anything. All right, cool. How's it going, dude? This nice to see you, bro. And we got check the status here as well. It's a good day to be a Philly fan. Dart is going to be garbage at camp apparently. Is garbage at camp apparently. Okay, interesting. I haven't heard any sort of rumors or headlines from Giants camp. I'm not like a huge Giants follower, but it's obviously good to keep an eye out on these things. And so it's if you're telling me that's what's happening, we'll take a look at that for sure. And then of course the brother picked the Bengals game to be the most. This one probably is a little boring. I'm just gonna watch the beginning of it. Because this is obviously where the starters actually played. Wait, was that an interception? Nice. Okay, so defense is making plays, right? That was an easy one. That was a gimme, right? It's a tip. It was literally a duck that got tipped, but it's nice to see the defense doing some work. All right, so now we get the starters. This is Chase Brown. Tip drill. Yep. Bengals already looked. I want to say it was the fact that it's our offensive line. It's really not that great. It's probably still like middle of the pack, if not like bottom half of the NFL in terms of like efficiency and pass blocking and all that stuff. But like, that's something we're gonna have to hopefully figure out as the season goes on. This is like stuttering big time. Maybe it's because I have all these fucking tabs open. Oh shit, we got Rasha. What's up, Rasha?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's going on, guys? Glad to be back, Ty.
Hey.
Been looking forward to this one, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes.
A lot to discuss.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be great.
Yes, sir. We got some preseason action we're taking a look at right now. It's Friday, so obviously we have a whole weekend to look forward to, especially some more football. I know we got preseason football tonight, which is awesome. And we're 3 weeks away from our draft, basically, in our main league. And also, I think 3 weeks away from, I want to say the viewer league, or at least maybe 2.5 weeks actually from the viewer league now. I want to say the viewer league is actually 18 days away. So we got some drafts coming up, man. It's you go to sleep and wake up next day, sooner than you know it's going to be draft time, And my brother, here, let me see if I can fix this. My brother was actually talking to me last night, and he was just joking that draft day it feels like a holiday, like legitimately feels like a holiday. It's like you wake up and something's just different. He described it as like Christmas for adults who are into fantasy, right? And I agree with him. On that sentiment. Like it is. There's something different about draft day, especially with your main draft, the league you care about the most. If it's draft day in that league, it's just you wake up feeling like you got a little pep to your step. You got just the blood's flowing a little differently. The air hits a little differently that day. So I'm excited, bro. I'm super excited. Hopefully this is.
Absolutely, man. It feels like holiday season. It's only a few weeks away, and it'll be here before you know it. I mean, and to your point, even leagues that you don't even just necessarily prioritize, even on those days, I've drafted a few leagues already. I don't know why these guys, draft so early. They invited me, so I accepted. Yeah, but nice. Even on those days, it was a lot of fun, and man, it's just a great time to be a football fan right now.
So true. And it's only going to get more and more hype. Obviously we got a long season ahead of us, and from now until December, basically till the end of the year, it's going to be full nonstop football pretty much, For 4 months of commercial free football, pretty much. But
oh yeah.
But yeah, okay, sorry guys is saying Joe goes down for the 500th time in his career. Bro, Don't jinx it, man. Don't jinx it. I know he got blindsided in this. Was it this drive? No. Maybe it was the next drive? Yeah, they might not have put that on the highlights. They should, though. Are they still playing? No, Flacco's in now. Okay, so maybe I missed it. But yeah, I did hear that Joe got hit. And so those are the types of things that I'm talking about with the offensive line that we're going to have to clean up. And, hopefully that's something that happens throughout the, early at least in the regular season, because I don't want to risk potentially losing Joe again, obviously knocking on all the wood I can find, right? So I did a random league today because I was bored. Time to to think I went crazy. Oh shit! Well, hopefully you like your draft in that league. Nico Dobbs, you say you're in 7 leagues this year. 4 of them are buy-ins. Nice, dude. And then, well, yeah, we're gonna do some mocks for sure. 7 is a lot, Nico. I'm not gonna lie. I think the most I ever did at once in 1 year was 9, and that was actually last season. I'm trying to cut back a little bit, but to be honest, it's looking like I'm gonna at least be in another 9, or maybe even more, depending on what happens. Because I'm like Rasha, it's hard for me to say no to a draft invite or a league invite. So, but yeah. So now, I guess big takeaway from Detroit Bengals game is Bengals offensive line needs to clean some things up, and defensively the Bengals showed that they actually have a little bit of juice. So that's good. It's a big difference from last year, right? Yeah, you're ready to mock already? All right, we'll try to speed run these highlights. I'm not going to go through all of the games. Obviously, I want to watch maybe the first couple minutes of these highlight reels, because that's really when most of the relevant players are actually playing. So next one, we'll go take a look at the Arizona Cardinals and the Raiders. Biggest thing that I'm looking out for this one is just I want to see that Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown that I heard about. I know Rashi, you mentioned it earlier when we talked, and then I also want to see Jeremiah Love and just like not just him doing well, but also when he might have gotten hurt and if that looked bad or whatever, just to kind of get like eyes on the, on the issue. Not that I can make an assessment from where I'm sitting, but just. It helps contextually, right? So yeah. So far, this is Mendoza starting, I think, right? And I don't know if any of the other starters are here playing. Actually, no, that's Genty. I think that's Genty, no? Oh, wait. No, that's Cousins. Okay, so they are playing the starters, it looks like. Damn. So the thing about Genty, and we did talk about this a little bit, I want to say last week, is Ashton Genty is a guy who kind of had an up and down year last year. It wasn't great, but the talent was there. We for sure saw it. And there's a stat where I think he has like some of the like most efficient yards after contact per run, right? And he's also getting hit in the backfield more than like almost any other running back in the league. So not only was he getting hit behind the line of scrimmage, but he was actually somehow still making like positive yardage from those situations. So you put an actual real offensive line in front of that guy. A nice little touchdown pass there. Was that to Bowers? Who was that to? No. Who's that? I don't think Bowers even played this game. That's their backup tight end, I think. But no.
Yeah, that was Mayer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mayer. You put an actual offensive line in front. Oh, you can move this for subtitles? Yeah, sorry about that. If you put an actual offensive line in front of a guy named Ashton Genty, he's going to ball out of control. So, that is to say, I don't think the Raiders did all that much to address their offensive line issues from last year. That still remains to be seen. But, like, it's funny that both these teams were, like, bottom in the NFL in offensive lines last year. So, both of these teams definitely have a lot to prove offensive line-wise. But, we're seeing already a couple targets to Mike Wilson. Nice. On time, in rhythm, right? These are good plays. These are easy chunk yards, it looks like. Okay, who's that? That's Tyler Algier? Okay, so already I'm seeing clear Tyler Algier favoritism or preference when you're talking about key scenarios like this, where it's, 3rd and 2, or what was that, 3rd and 3 or something, 2nd and 3, right? So a short yardage scenario. They actually gave him a first down carry as well. So this backfield might be a little more split than we'd like to think. And we did see Tyler Algier do a lot of goal line poaching and short yardage poaching from Bijan last year and even prior years, actually. So that's the one thing that's maybe the biggest knock on Jeremiah Love. But, he'll be worked in the pass game for sure. I know that much. He's a great pass catcher. Oh, shit. Okay, let's take a look. So, Starry Skies, your lineup is Caleb Williams, Achane. You got Kyron as well. And then you got Drake London, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. So you got 2 Eagles. Nice. And then you got T. Higgins. Interesting, dude. Hell yeah. Let's go. Okay, wait. That was this is the Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown. All right. So a little play action. Jacoby rolls out with pressure in his face. Throws a pretty nice fucking pass, actually. And then it's just a cross route for Marvin Harrison Jr. Catches it over a guy in stride. I mean, that was actually, I want to give credit to the pass more than the actual catch. It's a great play on both sides for sure. But that pass from Jacoby, dude, very impressive. Very impressive. I just want to see that one more time. Yeah, crazy pass. Perfect pass for sure. With a defender in his face. Dude, that's wild, bro. That's so if we see this from this team, like, obviously this is the Raiders defense, and I don't know if these are even the starters or whatever, but I mean, you gotta be confident to throw that pass. And then again, you'd like to see the route from Marvin Harrison Jr. and the better finish for sure. Concentration, holds the ball, doesn't drop it, right? Because he's had an issue with that. So that was sick. That was a sick play. So who else do you have? You have Rams defense, then you got Dicker the kicker, then you have Corum, nice handcuff for Kyron, JCM, who I like, who actually is a nice little bench stash for you, Dowdle. So it looks like you have some pretty sick depth for running back. Then you got Jadarian Price? Is that who it is? Damn, okay. So you got a lot of depth at running back. And then Malik Willis and Parker Washington, and then another Washington who actually Malik Washington. So yeah, you do have a lot of Dolphins. Okay, so this is Jeremiah Love, looking pretty solid. Algier. Okay, so Algier again is getting. He's going to get more work. He's going to get more work than we might hope as Jeremiah Love stands. But it's going to be, I want to say, a much more successful rushing attack than we saw last year. Last year, they were, I want to say, bottom 2, bottom 3 in rushing in the NFL last year. So, yeah. Fellas, I'm off to dinner. All right, see you. Check the status. Someone please let me know what position I get for the draft. Oh, right. That's right. We're doing draft order today. So I'll drop the results in Discord as well so you can take a look. But, yeah, Brissett is definitely going to ball and pass the ball 24/7. Cardinals won't run too much. I mean, yeah, they that wasn't their MO last year. So, but what I'm seeing here is a more balanced attack, right, offensively. Clearly we're seeing a more successful run game. Like, we clearly saw some pretty successful rushes here. And then as far as their pass attack, I mean, it was great last year. A lot of it was probably done in garbage time, but still successful. And so, if they build on that, there's a lot of continuity in terms of personnel and, weapons especially. So that rapport is still there from with guys like Jacoby Brissett and, obviously Trey McBride, no doubt. We're seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. now take a step forward in this offense. Mike Wilson didn't go anywhere. So, like, you slot in a guy like Jeremiah Love and, pretty reliable guy in Tyler Algier. I think that's a big upgrade for their running backs specifically, right? And if this offensive line, again, takes any meaningful step in the right direction, then, again, like, we see them, I think, take a big step forward or at least move up the rankings in rushing by, like, still in the bottom half of the NFL, but they're not going to be, like, basement tier, right? Was that a kick return? What was that? Does Love look like rookie Bijan to you? That's a good comp. I will say Bijan looked more Saquon-like to me, but maybe I missed a couple of these big highlights from here. Let's just look at Jeremiah Love highlights specifically. Jeremiah Love. What the fuck? Let's see if they have actual preseason highlights. Yeah, every rush attempt from preseason week 1. Okay, so let's look at just Love highlights. Too early to tell. Love looked like AP. Interesting, Adrian Peterson. Damn, that's a good comp. Obviously, I mean, AP is one of the greatest to ever run the rock. But so if he's looking like that, then that would be a good sign for sure. But you want to see, like, guys like AP, guys like Bijan, guys like Saquon, for instance, you can see it almost immediately. They're just different, right? So this stuff right here, like, this is the offensive line issues that I'm talking about, right? And it looks like Minshew was already in, so this is not even the starting group anymore. But it looks like they're just giving Love some of these extra looks. So they're trying to get him. They're trying to get him in rhythm, right? They're trying to get, like, him up to game speed. Just basically put him in a situation where real NFL action is now happening, and you have to somehow acclimate, right? And some guys are able to do that just a lot more quicker than others. Realistically, again, this is a similar situation with a guy like Ashton Genty, where you see the talent. You saw the talent in college. His college tape was awesome. I loved what I saw. But what made me hesitate, just, that was pretty nice. Pretty nice move there. Good balance. Nice spin move. What made me hesitate to just go all in on Jeremiah Love was, again, just the offensive composition, right? The way this team is constructed and the struggles that it will have with their offensive line issues and all that good stuff, right? So it makes sense why Jeremiah Love isn't like a bona fide first-round pick. right? If he was on like, let's say, maybe the Cowboys or something like that. Not that Javonte Williams isn't great, but like, you know, if he was on a team maybe like the like if he was on the Lions, you know, we look at Gibbs, amazing runner, but that offensive line is elite. So that has a big part of why he's looked at as like the solid number 1 overall pick, right? Also with the absence of David Montgomery now, it's like he owns that backfield, and he's in his prime. So it's like a situation like that where, you know, if Jeremiah Love was in a situation like the Lions, then we're looking at him as a much different type of player, fantasy-wise, right? Not going to be able to tell anything in preseason, really. Yeah, I mean, he's rushing against like the third-string guys, you know, for most of this highlight reel. So I don't want to be too, like, you know, buying into the hype. Is this where he got hurt? Let's see. In the backfield, and he is crunched. Ooh. Yeah, that didn't look great, but he pops up. I'm not sure if that was exactly where he got hurt, but yeah, big takeaway from that game is like, you like what you saw from the starters for the Cardinals, right? Jeremiah Love had some flashes, but for the most part, clearly that offensive line is going to struggle, and also we're going to see Tyler Algier in much of these sort of like key short yardage scenarios, at least probably earlier on in the year. Right? Honestly, maybe just all throughout. Like, I don't think they really want to put that type of beating on Jeremiah Love, right? They probably want to keep him fresh. And how you keep him fresh is you lean on Tyler Algier for the sort of gritty, nasty, short yardage scenarios. And some of those will be goal line looks. You know, that's what you got to factor in. So, did you see the news about Chuba Hubbard? He's week to week now. Oh, shit, Jonathan Brooks is going to the moon, and we'll start week 1, I believe. I did see a headline about Chuba. Let's actually take a look. I know we didn't really do any news coverage. We might do that after the highlights. But let me go to Chuba and see what's going on with him. Injuries week to week. Najee Harris suddenly makes sense for the Panthers after Chuba's injury. I wouldn't go that far. But, I mean, week to week is definitely questionable. Oh, wow, and it's a hamstring. Okay, so let's see what this says. Chuba did not practice on Thursday, and head coach Dave Canales said via multiple reporters that he is dealing with a hamstring injury. Hubbard is considered week to week after having an MRI, and that the team is confident he'll be ready for the start of the regular season. Canales said earlier this week that the team was planning to have Jonathan Brooks split time with Hubbard on Saturday, but the injury should mean that Brooks takes on a bigger role in his first ever preseason action. Brooks missed the 2024 preseason and the full rest of the season because he was recovering from a torn ACL and then missed all of last season after tearing it again in his week 14 of his rookie season. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what happened. So, hey, what's up, LeBron James? How you doing, bro? So, okay, what's going on in the chat? Marcus Mariota just got injured in the Washington game. Oh, dude. Oh, shit. That's right. There's preseason action right now. Dude, that sucks. That's unfortunate. I mean, it happens. It happens every year. People get hurt in preseason games. It's just the unfortunate reality, right? Let's see. Oh, nice. You got pizza? Hell yeah, dude. That sounds delicious. Let's see. I wonder if there's Marcus Mariota 2 for 3. They probably don't have any like headline yet or anything like that because it literally just happened in real time, I'm sure. But yeah, that sucks. All right, what was next? I wanted to go over the Tennessee Titans and San Francisco 49ers real quick. All right. So what I want to look out here for, I want to see Stribling because I heard a lot of hype on him. I heard he had some pretty good plays here. So I want to take a look at what those were like. I think that's him, right? Number 15? No. Oh, yeah, number 15. Let's see. Oops. Nice. Puka Nacua was left. Oh, shit. left bleeding from his face after running into a glass door. Wait, what? He was left bleeding from his face after running into a glass door at a party hosted by Fanatics founder Michael Rubin. Dude is a moron. Did he run into the glass door like accidentally, or did he try to like break through it or some shit? Did he do like a Cam Scatabo where he's like, I have no regard for my body's well-being. I'm just gonna fucking do the most insane shit because it's rad. Or was it genuinely an accident? Because that, I mean, that's the third thing. Like, I feel like that's the third thing. We were like, yo, is this... Oh, that's all it said? I don't know. That's hilarious. Yeah, Puka is a little bit of a red flag. I mean, I'm almost guaranteeing that he gets suspended at least for a game, which I think we talked about. It doesn't change my outlook on him, like, entirely, but it does make me a little nervous that, like, you know, if off-field issues could potentially be a thing that come into play again towards the end of the year or at any point during the year, which maybe we see once the year starts. He kind of locks in and he just like, it's all football, but like he should have been locked in already, bro. Like it's preseason at this point. You know what I mean? Like if you're not locking in now, you know, just so yeah, you got to start not fucking around. And I'm sure Sean McVay is like livid, bro. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's even calling up the NFLPA himself and being like, yeah, you got to suspend him because I'm trying to discipline him on my end. And you know, not a lot of it is working. So maybe he's going to lean on the NFLPA or the NFL in general to make that decision for him. But nah, I mean, this is definitely like that's the third thing. That's the third thing from Puka, right? So it's not a good look. This there's one real nice play down the sideline for Stribling. Okay, nice. I think I did see a clip of that, and I'm not sure if we already passed it, but and it looks like what that's Tony Pollard. Okay, I mean, look, Tony Pollard is the starting running back on the Titans, so they're going to be in a lot of negative game scripts, sure, but that doesn't mean he won't have like decent value. And you know what we're seeing here, Tony Pollard sure didn't get the look there, but that's like a little dump off basically over the middle of the field. So, you know, he's going to probably get some passing work as well. We saw him get some decent passing work in Dallas in his sort of breakout year. And so he can do it. We know he can do it, right? And Tony Pollard's going in like late in rounds. So he's a nice depth piece, right? He's a nice person who's kind of a plug-and-play guy on a desperate week. You don't want him to be your RB2 if you can help it. But, you know, if he's someone who can get you to a position where maybe a guy you stash like JCM or somebody like that in the later rounds comes online later on in the year, and in the meantime Tony Pollard's kind of your RB2 or something like that, that's also not a bad scenario. Jonathan Brooks would have qualified as that as well, but with the Chubert situation, now with the Chuba Hubbard situation, Brooks is now someone who's like climbing up draft boards, if not soaring up draft boards, right? Titans played all their starters. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing Tyjae Spears. I haven't seen any targets to Carnell Tate because I'm assuming, oh, there's the defensive play. Okay. That was Carnell Tate right there. So red zone target for Carnell Tate, actually. Might have been catchable, but just a good defensive play by the by the defensive back there. And he might have gotten away with a little bit of a hold. Let's be real. Or potential pre-pass hold, or could have been like a PI, but I don't know. It may be a good no flag there. Okay. And a little red zone look from Pollard. Okay, so Tony Pollard actually kind of intrigues me a little bit. You know what I mean? He is a little intrigued. I don't know. Rasha, what do you think of Tony Pollard? Do you feel like he's actually like, he's low-key becoming someone I'm targeting now in like mid to late rounds just because of his draft price is pretty reasonable, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Ty. I mean, if you're drafting him as your running back 3, maybe even running back 4 as depth piece, you know, using him as a flex from time to time, I'm totally okay with that. He has a great ADP. And last night, you know, he looked more shifty. You know, we saw him get in the end zone it was like a 3rd and 3 from the 5. So, you know, I actually like his value more than the pass catchers on this team. You know, the Cornell Tates, the Wandale Robinsons, these other guys. I actually like Pollard. Now, I will say Spears, he did look efficient as well. You know, he busted off like a 25-yard run. Looked like he was bottled up, and he ended up taking off. So, At the same time, I still think Pollard will be a very good addition to your fantasy team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Pollard is being drafted so low because just that offense, again, is going to be in like negative game scripts. But, if they can get their pass attack scary enough, right? And that definitely is contingent on a few factors, right? Offensive line, holding up, the rapport between Cam Ward and his receivers, against actual real defenses, right? Not that their practice defenses aren't like real looks, but you kind of know what your defense, you play against your in-house defense long enough, you're going to know how to exploit them. And when you take, on other defenses, it's going to be a little bit of a different situation. So once they iron that stuff out, like those wrinkles offensively, Tony Pollard is definitely going to be someone who I believe is going to have a lot of value in an offense like this, right? Like, again, we saw him get utilized in the red zone. They tried to take a shot to Carnell Tate. That didn't pay off. So they handed it off to Tony Pollard, and like you said, he looked shifty. So, and I did see Tajay get a little bit of work. So there will be a little bit of like a 1-2 punch there, but clearly it's Tony Pollard's backfield. He's the primary back there, and so any work Tajay Spears gets involved in will just be kind of like giving, just spelling Pollard a little bit so he can catch his breath or whatever. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, man. I like Pollard. He's climbing up my, or at least he's now more on my radar, right? Tajay looked better. Interesting. LeBron James is saying, do you like the Bengals O-line? Do you think the Bengals O-line will be a problem for Chase Brown? If it was going to be a problem for Chase Brown wouldn't be Chase Brown right now, right? Like, we've seen him for 2 straight years now work behind a subpar, if not extremely subpar, offensive line. And so this year, I want to say it's actually improved a bit. So he'll be fine. Like, Chase Brown, I actually am still high on. I don't think the offensive line makes me nervous about him. It does make me nervous just about Joe Burrow in general. But like I said, Joe's also been one of the guys who's been able to work through the pain with bad offensive line. So I trust that these guys are going to be fine. And, again, knocking on all the wood I can find. But that's my kind of like reassurance for the Chase Brown situation, right? How do you feel about the sack Burrow took? He'll take one of those again, and I hate to say it, but he'll probably take at least one of those again. A blindside, a hard hit, a late hit or something, or he barely gets the ball off or whatever. Like, he's going to take sacks, man. And it's just unfortunate, but that's just until we get like a top 15, top 16 offensive line at least. Like, it's going to be tough. I'd take Stribling where I was taking Tate. Interesting. Okay, so they kind of flipped for you in drafts. I could see that. And especially with like Mike Evans kind of being a little hobbled now, and just that it looks like Stribling literally might need to be the guy, right? You're saying that look on that play on Tate was clean by the San Fran DB? Yeah, I mean, it was really close to the line of scrimmage, so that's fair. You'll see a little hand fighting here and there. I don't think he like grabbed the jersey too hard, so nice. Okay, so that's pretty much all the highlights I want to take a look at from that game. So big takeaways here, just like, again, Cam Ward and Tate struggled a little bit. We saw some good defensive plays by San Francisco's defense on them specifically. So maybe they just need to start working in schemes better. The offensive, obviously that's a job for the offensive coordinator. So we'll see how that works out. Stribling ADP is 200, whereas Tate ADP is like round 7-8. Stribling will not stay at 200. I think. Let's take a look. Actually. So I'm gonna Stribling. Damn, dude, his ADP is literally off the board. That's wild. What is Fantasy Pros saying? That can't stay that way. There's no way. Yeah, 161 on Fantasy Draft or Fantasy Pros. That's still so low. Like, I'm you know what I mean? Like, I'm taking him in like Tate's is high because of his draft position. Yeah, because he was like the 4th pick overall, in the NFL draft. So it makes sense why people are higher on him, maybe in that respect. But like, I don't know, Stribling, man, there's no way his draft position is going to stay this way. Like when we mock today, I'm sure he's going to go in like the 12th round or higher, right? There's no way he's going to stick on the board for longer than that. Because if he is, I'm picking him up. You know what I mean? So if anything, I'm going to be the reason he's picked up before like the 10th round potentially. So we'll see. But that is an interesting factor that people really aren't looking at him like this. These rankings haven't adjusted. I think we're still too early on some of these rankings, right? Like I think these aren't what they should be and what they will be come maybe even like a week from now, right? So you're saying you hope so? Okay, nice. The guy that blanketed Tate was a 4th round corner. That might not even start. No way, dude. Don't say that. Don't say that. I have high hopes for Tate. I need that guy to ball. I need that guy to ball out. Okay, so do we want to watch Chargers or Chargers Texans or Colts Patriots or Packers Steelers? It sounds fucked up, but I almost don't care about any of those games because I don't think there were many.
I'm with you on that, Ty, man.
Yeah.
I would just skip all over it. Really not too many takeaways from those 3 games.
Right.
The rookie wide receiver for Pittsburgh, but other than that, nothing really to see here.
All right, good. All right, I'm glad you're in agreement. We'll move on to some quick news, and then we can probably start mocking if that's what folks want to do. So the guy, we said that Stribling and Cyrus Allen are my sleepers for this year for sure. Interesting. I like that. The Cyrus Allen one is a sneaky one for sure. Stribling obviously is a little less sleepery because people are probably paying attention to him more, but Cyrus Allen definitely that could be a sneaky one. You had high hopes for Tate, but you didn't know he was that slow. I want to say he's probably not slow in terms of his like straight on speed, like his straight line speed, but maybe he just is a little like sluggish in his route running, which is a little bit of surprise because I know when I watched his college tape, I didn't get that experience or that vibe from him at all. But again, it's highlights, so maybe we were just watching. Obviously, we were just watching all of his successful plays and his best plays. But I didn't get the sense that he was like a slow route runner or a bad route runner or anything like that. But again, I could be mistaken, and maybe he just was playing like bad teams most of the time, and so all those highlights were just on like fucking D-leaguers basically. So yeah. Drew Aller was balling. Oh, I did hear about that. He's what is he? The quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? He's the rookie on the Steelers. I think Rashi, you mentioned him. Yeah, Drew Aller had 13 attempts, completed 10 of them for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. Damn, so he actually got 2 touchdowns. It's pretty crazy. So, I mean, how long is Aaron Rodgers going to be that quarterback? I don't know. I couldn't care less, to be honest. I'm like avoiding almost all Steelers, and it's probably just because I'm a Bengals fan. Sure, like take that with a grain of salt. But like seriously, even in like a prime fantasy scenario, I wouldn't mind taking Steelers. This year, I'm just like off on pretty much all Steelers. I'm sure there will be value to be had on some form or fashion from either like Pittman, Michael Pittman Jr. or maybe even Jaylen Warren, or maybe there will be some good games from DK Metcalf. Like, who's to say that he won't do well? But like, I just, with Aaron Rodgers is kind of in the end of his career, and I don't want to say the O word, but as old as he is, right? I just don't see him being someone who can keep that offense running at like a high fantasy relevant level, right? Are you doing marbles tonight for our league draft order? Yes, I will do that before we do our draft, before we do our mocks. So in fact, after we look through the news right now, I'll load up marbles. We'll get a draft order going, and then we'll do some mocks. He ran a 4.5 340. Damn, bro. Okay, that isn't great. I don't mind DK for a bench wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, he's not someone I want to be starting each and every week, but you're right. He's not bad on your bench. Roger said this 100% is his last season. Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing that he kind of is putting that out there. So now you just don't hold anything back, right? Just lay it all on the line. And then I think it'd still take MPJ over Wan'Dale Robinson. Really? You would take Michael Pittman Jr. over Wan'Dale? You know what? That's fair. That's fair. Where is Michael Pittman Jr. going? Pittman Jr. is going down here, wide receiver 36. Wan'Dale is going right around the same, wide receiver 40. So technically Pittman's ranked over Wan'Dale. Let's see, is this full PPR? Yeah, this is full PPR. So I see why. I could tell. I mean, I definitely think he'll be more valuable, like Pittman will be more valuable than DK Metcalf in that offense on a week-to-week basis. Metcalf might have a higher ceiling, but like Pittman will be safer as like a safer play, you know? Roger said this. Oh, awesome. Can't wait. Hell yeah. And yeah, Walt saying you would too. Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. All right. Any other crazy news stories? Let's see. We did talk about, let's take a look at, what's his name? Jordan Tyson. Because this is unfortunate. So 5 hours ago, ESPN reporter Catherine Terrell is reporting here that New Orleans Saints rookie wide receiver Jordan Tyson has a right hamstring issue and will miss time, according to Saints coach Kellen Moore. Moore said that he's not going to estimate a timetable for Tyson's return yet, which is already just a bad look. But when he asked about the regular season, he said it could potentially linger into week 1. That, I think, means it's almost guaranteed to linger into week 1. So we might not see Jordan Tyson realistically on the field until like week 2, week 3, but we'll see. We've just got to let these experts evaluate, and then we'll put together a plan. And the reason why I'm being a little harsh on this evaluation is because I know he's dealt with this particular injury already. It might even be the exact same issue that kind of depreciated his draft value in the real NFL draft. So, you know, it's not a good look that this is cropping up like this. And I hope they really manage this properly, because this actually could end up being a situation where his rookie year never quite gets off, takes off in a way that we thought it would, because it just, this injury just kind of lingers, right? So I would hope they'd be like precautious and, just lean on Olave, lean on Juwan Johnson, lean on, Travis Etienne, lean on, why am I blanking? Alvin Kamara. Lean on those guys, right? And let Jordan Tyson get healthy before you decide to really let him unleash. Because honestly, if you rush him back, like a guy like this, especially in his first NFL game, like a regular season game, he's going to want to like go full speed. You know what I mean? So he could end up potentially re-injuring if he accidentally goes a little too hard in that game. And so, I again, if I was the coach, if I was Kellen Moore, I'd be a little more precautious than maybe you'd like typically be, right? Not going to jump to conclusions. I don't have a doctor in front of my name, so I'm not going to jump to put together on a timeline on it. That's what Kellen Moore said. Tyson's injury occurred during Thursday's joint practice session against the Jags. He caught a pass and landed awkwardly, slowly getting up to test his leg before jogging off the field. Okay, so it wasn't like a mid-route injury. It was a leaping injury, and it was more of an awkward landing than like him maybe pulling it, doing like something acrobatic in nature. So yeah. Oh, Nico Dobbs is saying also Rashee Rice will get no suspension. Oh, right. I did hear about that. Nice. Good call out. I think his ADP is going to go higher for sure. Yeah, let's see what Rashee's ADP is currently. And I mean, he's wide receiver 12. Do you think he gets a boost over Olave, over Pickens? That's probably where I draw the line, because I don't know if I would take him over Nico or A.J. Brown. But, like, I could see him potentially going over Pickens or Olave now that we have clarity on that. That's some BS. He isn't being suspended. So what was the issue he could have been suspended over? Because I think he broke his parole or something. And what was it for? Let me see. Rashee Rice suspension. He previously had a 6-game suspension for the vehicle crash. Recent news reviews into a separate domestic abuse allegation have been officially closed without punishment. Okay, so it was a domestic abuse allegation. Ooh. And Domestic abuse allegation is closed. Investigation is closed. Officially concluded its investigation of a lawsuit. Allegations brought forward by Rice's former partner, Dakota Jones. According to NFL reports and statements shared by league insiders, the NFL determined he did not engage in conduct violating the personal conduct policy, and no additional discipline will be handed out. So what does that mean? Were the accusations false, or were they declared false, or did she withdraw them? Is that what they're saying? Oh, he went to jail for fuck's sake? Yeah, I know, right? It was weed? Okay, damn. I mean, that's that I wonder why it's not listed here, but if it is, then substance abuse is definitely something I see the NFL coming down on pretty hard. So I mean, it depends on obviously where he's at. Kansas City, I don't think it's illegal out there, so he probably would get suspended if that was part of this issue, but clearly they're not suspending him, so I don't know, maybe they didn't care. That's wild. My hope is that there was some type of agreement that the alleger or the accuser is now satisfied with whatever the outcome is, right? I would hope. Usually when you're accusing someone of this, though, like you're clearly wanting to bring them to court or take them to justice, see them disciplined in some form or fashion, or else you wouldn't be going public with this stuff. But like, I don't know. We've seen the NFL make some questionable calls before, so that's all I'm going to say. But, until a video comes out or something like that, the NFL clearly, their hands aren't tied in that respect, so they're probably going to lean on the side of the player until there's like a genuine, a video or something, and then they have to do something. So, yeah. Also, Rashi got no suspension. Oh, we said that already? Oh, he tested positive for on parole. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, let's see parole. Served a 30-day jail sentence. So, June 16th. So, wow, okay. After testing positive for THC, which violated the terms of his 5-year probation, he received following his 2025 guilty plea. Dang, what the hell? So he was arrested and ordered to jail. So this was actually, dude, what the hell? Dude, this was barely talked about. At least I didn't see it. Wait, Raja, did you know about this? Because this is kind of news to me. And this happened back in May.
Yeah, he did serve 30 days in jail, the Dallas County Jail, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was stemmed to, reckless driving. I don't think that was tied to any of the domestic assault or anything. Well, he violated his probation, obviously. That's what ended up, getting him locked up. But,
right.
It's encouraging that, he's not going to serve any extra time for his suspension. I think you can draft him confidently. And, I agree with you. And, maybe I'll draft him above Olave, definitely above Pickens, I would say. But, that's where I would draw the line as well.
Mm-hmm.
But nice. I want to say he got suspended and missed out 5 or 6 games last year because of that domestic charge. So I think that was already over and done with. I could be mistaken.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, he missed 6 games at the beginning of last year for that suspension that you mentioned, and then even missed 3 games towards the end of the year, which is kind of weird. I wonder if that was because he got hurt or something. But
yeah, I think that's what it was, an injury there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But when he was in, man, he was about as good as it could be. Let me actually see what his pace was real quick.
I mean, he's the clear number 1 option there in Kansas City. Kelsey, he's taking a step back now. He's getting age. He's getting over the hill right now. They don't really have any other guys. I mean, Worthy, he's not really, ascending. He's not taking that next step. I mean, for them to be talking up that rookie Cyrus Allen, I mean, it just tells me that Worthy is not taking that next step. And,
yeah,
I can definitely see Rashee Rice getting close to 10 targets a game. That's what I want to see from my receiver. I mean, a lot of volume.
Man, you literally called it. So right now what I'm doing is I'm checking out his pace. So for the games that he played last year from week 7 to week 15, right? Those were pretty much all of his games last year. He would have been on pace for 18.8 fantasy points per game in PPR. That would have been a wide receiver 4 finish on the year. And he was on pace for 9.8 targets, 6.6 receptions. So, and 71.4 receiving yards and 0.6 touchdowns per game. So, like you said, 10 targets a game is very feasible for him. We basically saw him average 10 targets a game last season when he was playing. So, you know, if you're telling me he plays a full season, he's not suspended, he's the number one target in that offense, it's angry Patrick, right? Maybe we're going to see him come in and start slinging the rock like 2020 Patty or 2019 Patrick Mahomes or something like that, right? Where he's just throwing 4.5K plus passing yards. And obviously Rashi is going to be a big part of that. So, you know, 1,200 yards, obviously this is probably his ceiling, right? That we're looking at. But it's a reasonable ceiling, and where you're picking up Rashi, like where again are we looking at him? He's going as the wide receiver 12, wide receiver 11 ADP, and you're telling me his ceiling is wide receiver 4. All things considered, I think that's reasonable, dude. I honestly, that's good value. That's good value. So I wouldn't be surprised if we again see Rashi like creeping up draft boards a bit. And you know, we mentioned it. Yeah, I think I'm picking him up over Chris Olave, George Pickens. I mean, dude, people are kind of low on Nico Collins. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody reaches for Rashi over Nico. Like, that actually wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it. Nico Dobbs saying, yeah, Rashi is still a better value than Josh Jacobs. Yeah, 100%. I'm not like a huge Josh Jacobs believer, to be honest. He tested positive. Oh yeah. Rashi will do some nasty things this year. His contract is not renewed yet. He's got to prove himself this year on 17 games to ink a larger contract. He knows what's at stake. That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. So that even, you know, we talk about this, guys on contract years. We saw George Pickens pop off in a big way last year. We saw T. Higgins pop off in a big way before he got his contract. We saw Jamar Chase pop off in a big way before he got his contract. You know, like JSN, right? Last year before he got his contract. So it's like that clearly is a big motivating factor for guys, especially guys who like are in good situations on talented, you know, with teams with talent around them, and especially a quarterback who like likes throwing to them. You know, that's a good point, and definitely is worth factoring in for Rashi's situation. Pickens is a better wide receiver than Rice. I agree on that, right? I don't think Rashi is more talented than guys like Nico Collins or AJ Brown. I know both of those guys are definitely more talented. And to your point, George Pickens for sure fits that category as well. But Rashi is like just in a perfect scenario. Like, he's got the talent. He's talented enough to where, because again, we've seen Patrick Mahomes ball out with literal scrubs, like literal guys who weren't even in the NFL like a year or two later, right? He basically was getting to the Super Bowl at times with third, fourth string guys at, you know, in certain scenarios, especially after Tyreek Hill left. So now that he has a real guy again in Rashee Rice, clearly he's going to be a big part of that offense like we saw last year. And, you know, I don't want to belabor this point, but this pace looks really solid in my mind, right? Oh, and Rice can do RB plays, but, you know, most top caliber wide receivers will get like a carry here and there, right? Like a jet sweep or something like that. So, all right, what's the next big storyline? Talked about Jordan Tyson. Just like keep an eye on him. We'll keep an eye on him. And just this, but this obviously is unfortunate with the hamstring missing time. We talked about Chuba. Egbuka. Let's take a look at Egbuka. Suffers minor toe injury. Let's see. What's the latest from 2 hours ago? Make this bigger. So it seems like Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Emeka Egbuka avoided a serious setback when he suffered a toe injury during Wednesday's practice. Okay, so it's positive outlook here. Times reported that Egbuka has a sprained toe, but that the team is very optimistic that he'll be ready for week 1. So, oops, not what I want to do. Mike Garofalo previously reported that the injury is considered minor, and that noted that running back Bucky Irving told NFL Network's Maurice Jones-Drew, "I think he's pretty good. He just got rolled over on," which kind of was what happened with Joe Burrow. But we immediately knew there was something wrong with Joe Burrow when that happened, and So I'm pretty sure if it was that serious, we would have already known. It's clearly not that serious. I think he got a second opinion or a reevaluation recently, and so now the sentiment is that he should be okay for week 1. So, yeah, we'll see. Losing him to a long-term injury before the season even started would have been quite a blow to Tampa Bay. So the reported diagnosis is all the more noteworthy. Egbuka surely won't see much playing time, if any, during the preseason opener on Friday, but both he and the team continue to prepare for the season opener against the Bengals on the 13th. Cool. And that's going to be a shootout. So you definitely want Egbuka to be there. Yeah, exactly. So Egbuka, his injury is minor. Nico Dobbs saying, or Walt saying, this ends your career fast as fuck. Look at Debo; he has nothing left. Yeah, true. You don't want to give your stud wide receivers too many carries. Like I said, we might see him get one every now and then, but like, yeah, you don't. Typically, you want to keep those looks very limited, few and far between. Debo was bulkier than Rice too. True. Yeah. Falcons edge rusher James Pierce suspended 8 games by the NFL. Interesting. Okay, that's a big blow to the Falcons defense for sure. I just finished my pizza, had 5 slices. Damn, impressive, bro. Impressive. Was that is that how many slices in a pie? Was that half a pie? Is that more than half a pie? Was that an 8 slicer and you took 5 from it? That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. At least you got some leftovers, for later. But yeah, Rasha. So if the outlook on Egbuka is that he'll be ready for the first week of the NFL regular season, are you just drafting him right where he's going already, or are you worried that maybe this could linger into even if he's good to go, quote unquote, medically, that this could be a situation where they kind of just like get him off to a bit of a slower start than they would have liked, and maybe lean more on like Chris Godwin and Jalen McMillan, or even guys like, Cade Otton, or, I guess Bucky in the passing attack, or who else is there? Kenneth Gainwell. Right?
Absolutely. I'm not fading Egbuka by any means.
Mm-hmm.
I may not reach for him. I would actually, if I'm drafting him as my wide receiver 2, I'm happy with that. I would just, make sure that I have a couple, maybe an extra receiver in my depth, just to make sure, if it's a worst case scenario, right, I'm covered in that area. I mean, it's not a turf toe or anything like that. It's just a sprained toe.
Mm-hmm.
They're optimistic. They're positive about it. So, even if he does have a slow start, I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So if you can end up having Egbuka there, and he definitely still has top 15 wide receiver upside. I mean, I still look at him as this year's JSN. Tampa Bay, they're going to be slinging that rock. Mayfield, he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder. That's the kind of guy I want to see that's motivated. Anytime you see Mayfield, motivated. I mean, he's the last couple of years ago he threw for over 4,000 yards. So
true.
It's not against the realm of possibility that he does that again. And Egbuka will be the clear-cut number 1 wide receiver in this offense.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, Baker, down year last year, looked a little rough. He didn't hit 4K. Like you said, last 2 years, though, or the previous 2 years, he hit 4K and then 4,500 yards respectively. So, yeah, I want to see him get back to that, because, I mean, Baker's exciting when he's having a good time and throwing the ball, and it's just a fun type of football to watch. And so I just, as a football fan, want to see that from Baker again this year. And, if Egbuka is somebody who I'm high on, benefits from that, great. But I'm also, I'm not mad at looking at guys like Jalen McMillan as like a bench stasher, or potentially, I know there was a guy, Tez Johnson from last year, who had some moments. He flashed a little bit last year. So if anybody were to miss time in this wide receiver room, he's someone who could potentially step up. But I don't think I'm drafting him or anything like that. I'm just keeping an eye on him. But Jalen McMillan for sure is someone who I think could be an easy stasher and potential solid wide receiver 2 on this team that ends up being like a solid flex-worthy player in fantasy, right? Relevant terms, right?
No doubt about it, Ty.
Yeah.
Another guy that I also want to mention, actually, while we're on the Buccaneers, I won't beat this horse too much, but man, that rookie Ted Hurst is a guy that they've been talking up a lot. as a guy that can play that X receiver role that Mike Evans left.
Interesting.
They're talking him up a lot in camp, man. Baker Mayfield, he's having chemistry with them. This could be a guy that emerges and has a role. I mean, the Buccaneers receiver room is always banged up for some reason. They remind me of the 49ers.
Yeah, that's kind of true, huh? You're right. They really do deal with it's like Chris Godwin and then Mike Evans even misses time. And those two guys have been like the quintessential, stereotypical hurt consistently, at least for like 4 to 5 games a year on average for like the last 5+ years on the Tampa Bay Bucks. So funny. But they're still ballers, which is crazy, which is why we even, keep coming back to them in fantasy, right? Time and time again. So I wasn't high on Igbukah in the first place, but I think this hurts more. I know you're not high on Igbukah. I know, and that's fair. You have fair criticisms there. I think it's just people have their takes and they have their reservations. I understand why maybe you feel like, without Evans, there's a bigger emphasis on can Igbukah deal with cornerback 1 treatment, and that is going to be a test. I hope that they'll be able to scheme his, if he does struggle, then obviously you got to lean on the scheme, right? Or you got to lean on other places in the offense to relieve some of that stress or pressure from Igbukah personally. And, he's too good of a player to, and this offense needs him to be like a high level contributor in their offense for them to not try and figure it out, right? That's my optimistic take, but it could crash and burn for sure, and you wouldn't be surprised, and I probably wouldn't be too surprised either. But Baker has been, Mayfield has been playing with a chip on his shoulder his whole career. Baker's good year had a Hall of Fame wide receiver to throw to. Oh, you're talking about Mike Evans? Fair. Do you draft players based on their value or based on their schedule difficulty? I saw Eagles, Lions, Saints, Ravens, and Bengals have the best chances to win the most in 2026. I do look at that. I won't say that I will completely fade or completely target a player purely based off of their schedule, but it does factor into my decision making for sure. Like it'll be a tiebreaker. Like if there's 2 players that I like in the same sort of draft area and I look at their schedules and one has like a maybe softer matchup, especially maybe towards the playoffs or, situationally, like if you want to even break it down even further, if I'm looking at like a guy I know is going to be a back half of the year guy, like a stasher, and I need somebody to just be like a plug and play for the first few weeks, like a Chuba Hubbard would have been before he got hurt, then that would make my decision for me, right? But, schedule definitely comes into play for sure. Baker gets too much credit. He has been in the league since 2018, and let's be real, he has had 1 good season. The rest were mediocre. I mean, that's a real brutal take for Baker. That I will say that is pretty brutal because there was a year, like you said, the year he was great was 2 years ago where he was the quarterback 4 in fantasy, threw for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, which is a lot of interceptions. But other than that season, he is only ever thrown for 28 touchdowns or less. So he's never broken even 30 touchdowns in a single year, except for that one season. So you're kind of right. He really only had like 1 great year. But 3 straight years of top 12 finishes in fantasy, that's not nothing. So I'll give him a little bit of credit, but yeah, maybe we're not like looking at him like an MVP candidate like maybe he was 2 years ago, right? But he does have that dog in him. I'll give him credit for being that dog, And he's got a clean what is that move called? Is that the Dougie or the No, it's not the Dougie. He's got some dance moves. I'll give him that too. He's got some dance moves. All right. We talked about the Chuba thing a little bit. I guess I'll just do my diligence and just go actually look at the Chuba news and see if there's any updates. Oh, we did say it was week to week. Okay, week to week. Yeah, so Jonathan Brooks, someone I was stashing on my teams. Now he's probably going to be like an 8th round pickup. Right? Okay, cool. All right. Let's do this marbles, man. Let's do marbles. Hey, you read my mind, Nico Dobbs. Let's do marbles. and then we'll get a draft going, and then or a mock draft going, and then we might call it after that. But let's see, where's my marbles shit at? All right, let's go. Hopefully it doesn't have like a loud intro song or some shit that just blows up my audio. You might trade your draft pick in another league. That's something I've always kind of been intrigued by, is trading draft picks in fantasy. I know you can do that obviously in dynasty leagues, and that makes more sense in dynasty leagues. But I don't know. I like redraft. There might be a world where maybe in a keeper league that actually would make a little bit more sense than just pure redraft. Okay. Except I have to sign in on Twitch. Fuck. You like Baker, but you think he has number 15 QB in the league? Interesting. Hey, let's go. All right, let me sign into Twitch real quick on the other screen. I will do a quick be right back. All right. We got it. I think we're in. Stream account successful. Requirements. I already signed up. My marbles rolling and coins are too. Wait, what the fuck? Earn more with a red sharing program? Nah. I don't know what that is. Continue. Alright, let's see this. Audio. Oh, oops. Music. Nothing. Okay. Apply. Back. All right, cool. All right, what are we doing? Oh shit, this is kind of like making my shit lag a little bit. Let me exit some stuff out. Let me... Damn, is my computer literally just like cooked, bro? Maybe I need to reduce the settings. Video resolution, monitor, window full screen. Yes, yeah, I'm lagging a bit. Yep, I'm lagging. Is the audio lagging too?
I don't think the audio is lagging like that. I think the picture may be like a second or two delayed, but as far as the Discord, it seems like it's a little low, honestly. But I know you're trying to do that on Twitch right now.
Here we go. I just did it. Yep.
Awesome.
Well, it's frozen. Okay, now it should be. I just cranked the settings way down, so now we should be good to go. All right. I think I did it. All right.
Got this tie?
Yeah. All right. Now what I have to do is I got to pull up the actual Sleeper League. So I got to pull this up. We can hear you, but your face is frozen. Oh, okay. We're back to normal. Okay, cool. Whew. Okay. All right. Bear with me. Race. Okay.
We're out here looking very pedestrian. 3 for 5 for 22 yards.
Yeah, exactly. Who's that? Who's looking pedestrian?
Tua,
Oh,
3 for 5 for
Tua.
22 yards.
Oh,
Cooper
shit.
Rush is already in the game, though. I'm just looking at the stats.
Interesting. Nice. Good call out. That was so weird. The messages are delayed. LOL. Yeah, my computer's a little older, so I had to crank down the settings a little bit. But hopefully now we're back and good to go. One race or multiple races? Probably just one. We'll make it a fun one. Maybe we'll do Cosmic Chaos or some crazy shit. And we'll do with bots. Max Marbles. We'll do 12. And let's see what happens. So we have to assign, before we start, we have to assign each member of the league to a marble so that we can track, obviously, the order that they come in, because that'll determine the draft order, right? So, okay. Damn, these are some weird fucking names. Can I look at the names? Player list. Search for players. Unlock players from joining. These are some crazy names. We need to mock too, remember? Yes, we will mock after this. Game setup. It's not letting me change the lists, or... Can you not change the names? Let's see. Settings. I've never used this, so I apologize, you guys. Let's see. Oh, marble names? Left alt. Okay. Can I rename anything? Toggle hub. Nope. Marble names advanced. Okay, I'll just look at them like this. Okay. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay, so this is what we'll do. Jesus. What a process. Okay. So what we'll do is all right. I'll have to put up everybody's. I just need to write a name down. So, okay, I'll put it in chat. This is what I'll do. I'll put it in chat just so it's listed. So ask ChatGPT. I'm gonna use my own brain for this. It'll be quick. So as I say that, so game time tie equals QIQOCZI. Okay. Then Mr. Midnight. I'm just going in order from what I see. Mr. Midnight equals DEA Gigba. Okay. Ricky Meeks equals QEU. Who made these names, bro? I mean, I hope that's not offensive for me to question these names, but like, these are tough to remember. All right, Justice 01. Let's just say Justice ZIIQEZQI. That's wild. Maddie Boots is Zabobki. And then Nico Dobbs is XUU Zugoki. Damn. All right. You can change the names. Really? Can I? In the race menu? Maybe should I go back to the main menu and try to just name the bots? Race. Cosmic Chaos. Bots. 12. I don't know. Maybe I'm unking way too hard on this. It sounds like you were naming anime characters. I know, bro. It literally sounds like these are some crazy fucking names, dude. All right, now the names. Now the name's fucked up. Lock and unlock players from joining the race. Okay. View for second. Ghost Ball. Target. Marble names. Can I like click on a marble or some shit? Nope. What league is this for? This is for the main viewer league. This is just for the free viewer league. Fuck. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to start over again. Fuck. Okay. Sorry, guys. This again, I've never used this before. I'm sure there's a way to change names. I just am too fucking old to figure it out. Let's see. Gameplay, gamepad, mouse and keyboard. Nope. Creator. Show creator, code, streamer. Fuck. Okay. Okay. All right. Game time tie equals we dozeba. Mr. Midnight equals CX. Yeah, I should have done a what's it called? A test before before we loaded this up. Okay.
Man, it's no big deal, Ty. It's definitely over my head.
Man, yeah. And it would be nice if we had enough people in the chat, everyone here, so that we could have just done the viewers. You know what I mean? Because that I know is a good way to do this as well. But
absolutely,
yeah.
And I do have a quick call out, man. I'm looking at the stats for this Dolphins and Commanders game.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Willis, he's 4 for 5. Yeah, 43 yards. Only 8.6 yards in attempt, but it's a 102 passer rating. Achane with the rushing touchdown, still looking efficient. 5.6 yards a carry.
Nice.
Maybe I'm lower on this team than I should be. I'm not going to say that they're going to all of a sudden be a contender. But
right.
I look at the highlights, right? But Malik Willis may be more serviceable than what we think.
Fair. And I'm glad you're mentioning that, because I'm someone who was just completely off all Dolphins in general, because it's just such an unknown there. But obviously preseason is a good time for us to see and hopefully answer some of these questions, and so I guess if we're seeing good things come out of that, great. But I still will probably be a little hesitant to draft any Miami Dolphin. Maybe Achane if he slides a little bit, but like that'll probably be the only guy I'm genuinely looking towards drafting from that team. Best entertainer on Twitch right now. Hey, thanks.
That's definitely low on my radar.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely.
I see Malik Washington. He has three targets.
Hey, appreciate the follow, man. How's it going, bro? Sorry, what'd you say, Rasha?
Oh, no, I was just saying, Malik Washington with 3 targets, 3 catches. It's a measly 15 yards, but it does look like that he's going to be involved in the offense. I mean, you're basically getting him for free. So, he doesn't have a ton of upside. He kind of reminds me like a low-end Jacoby Myers. But, you never know.
Yeah, no, that's a good comp. Hey, what up, Ballin' Beast? Yo, appreciate the follow, man. How's it going? What we're doing right now is we're setting up a marbles game to determine our draft order. So I'm manually typing in because I don't know how to change names on Marble. So I'm manually typing in the chat whose Marble is who. And so yeah, now you get to watch. So how are we doing this? You'll see. Zuthis, I'm typing everybody's team name or username, and then I'm typing a Marble name that will be their sort of representative Marble, and then I'm gonna let them go, and whatever the order is that finishes, that will be the order that we will draft in, right? So hopefully that's not too convoluted and complicated. It just takes me a little time to type these names out, but we're almost there. I promise. Yeah, but no, I like that call out though, Rasha, on the Malik Willis and just the Dolphins situation in general. So Nico Dobbs.
Absolutely. I mean, we know it's preseason. As we say, we have to take it with a grain of salt. But preseason it's a gauge for me when it comes to quarterbacks. If they're efficient. I mean, if they're playing against a lot of seconds, and you're a starter, I would expect your numbers to look something like that. Not like a 5 for 13 type of situation. You should be a good 8 for 9, 5 for 5.
True. Yeah, exactly. Right. It should be methodical. You should be in rhythm, right, in these situations, because it is not starter caliber players that you're playing against for sure. So I agree with you. We should be seeing these players not struggle too much, and that is a good sign. But like you said, take it with a grain of salt. Joe Burrow was 5 for 6, but he looked bad. Oh, yo, what's up, Lightning Archer? How you doing? Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that he got some game action. Sure, he took a hit. We never like to see that. But he got some game action. He did go 5 for 6. Maybe they didn't get a touchdown with him on the field, but he still looked like he was well in command of that offense. They marched up the field. They did get points, right? Even if it was a field goal. And I think, again, like the offensive line showed that they're improving. And, Joe Burrow, I'm not worried about him once the regular season gets here. He's going to be Joe Burrow how we know him to be, right? He's going to be awesome. I have no doubt in that. It's just like, again, knocking on all the wood, is that offensive line going to be able to keep him safe and upright? That's like the biggest question. So, and I liked what I saw in terms of, mostly, right? Some of that was bad, right? That blindside hit was not good. So we got to clean that up. But Bengals getting cooked by bench D. Yeah, it was. Oh shit! Hold on one sec. That's sorry. My phone was going off. I hope you guys didn't hear that. But okay, let's see. What else? So Big Texas is by Zaccato. Okay, we got that. Always cool under pressure. That's check the status. So check the status is CEUZOWCU. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I wouldn't even begin to start pronouncing that. And then we got Misty Stepa is ZEUWAC Wackwoo. Zuwackwoo. And then we got Walt. Walt Grizzly is BEOBOWTWAY. Damn. I wonder what culture these names are from. Or if these are literally just like fucking made up names and shit. All right, 2 more. We got Zuthas is CIAQICT Chiquite. Made up names. Yeah, these are definitely made up names. It's not some like long lost culture, some dead language, which would be kind of cool on Marbles to do that. GETDU. You guys doing a mock? We are doing our marbles for our draft order in our viewer league. And then, yes, we will do a mock after. So if you want to join that mock, we'll probably do this for like 5 minutes, right? This will probably take 5 minutes. And then we'll jump right into a mock. Okay, so I think I have everybody labeled. So we'll just go through the chat to see what that list is. But we got everybody labeled, so let's get it. Make sure you guys keep track of your marbles. Let's see, which one am I again? I am this one over here. Dasba. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and start it. All right, so right now it's looking like Wookzoopki. I mean, I wish I had these fucking names for real. Oh shit! Can we go down here? Oh, dude, that's crazy. Yo, I didn't know you could do this. All right, Ziwakwu is in the lead. Oh, no longer. Now it's Quicks Dose Z. Let's go. Oh shit, dude, these loop-de-loops are pretty sick. Oh shit, damn, yo, this might be a close one. Let's go, Chiakti. Hey. Okay, Queen Dozy. Is this the end? Or is there more? Is this the finish line? Or do they blast off somewhere? Oh shit, where did they just go? Holy fuck, where are we? Damn, did people fall off? I hope you can't fall off here. That would not be fun. Damn, there's like a Fall Guys obstacle course. Yo, that's pretty crazy. How much longer is this course? Okay, there's the finish line. Okay, so we actually are almost in the home stretch. Damn. Oh, there's like jumps here? Dude, I hope there's like I hope it's like anti-gravity so they just float through. Okay, Kyoks Dozy making it through. Oh shit. Way ahead, bro. And then there's Bo Woo. Oh shit. What's gonna happen, dude? Anything can happen, it looks like still. People are catching up. Kyok Dozy is in the lead still, bro. Oh shit. I don't know who that is, but we're gonna find out. Get there, baby. Oh, I think I'm Wookzoopki. No, I think I'm back there, dude. Oh wow. Okay, we got our first. We got number one is Kikdozy, then Wookzoopki, then Bio Woot Woo. These names, bro. What the fuck? Zigetdu, Widozba, Chiaokite. I think the fun part is just trying to fucking pronounce their names. And then we got Weeks Weezwo held up here, number 10. And then did not finish. Wow. Third, you'll take it. Nice, Walt. 2 people didn't even finish. We're gonna put them in 11th and 12th respectively. So okay, let's go through the list. So number 1 is Kyo Ozdi, which is Kyo Ozdi. Who is that? That is Matty Boots. Okay, so Matty Boots number 1. Zuthez, you were where is Zuthez? You were Chiakte, so you are number 6. Nice, you were number 6. Yeah, hell yeah, let's go. Okay, number 2 was Woozubki. So who's Woozubki? Ricky Meeks. Okay, so Ricky Meeks was number 2. All right, and then B was number 3. Oh, Walt said you were number 3. Yep, Walt, you were number 3. Nice. Number 4 is Sigetu, which is not me, that's for sure. Daytona. Okay, Daytona's number 4. All right, Widozba. Here, I'll just start actually putting them in the draft order so we can actually just fucking see them on the actual sleeper platform. Okay. Set order. Number 1 was got number 1, Ricky Meeks. No, Matty Boots. I already fucking forgot. Yeah, Ricky Meeks got number 1. Ricky Meeks. Is it good that I got the 6th pick in a mock draft so I can practice it? Oh yeah, you can definitely get the 6th pick in the mock draft. In fact, if we want to mock from these positions that we just got, we should definitely do that. Let's see, Musubi. Maybe ChatGPT would have helped. There definitely was a better way to do this, I'm sure. Uksubki was Matty Boots, right? Oh no, that was Ricky Meeks. Who the fuck got number 1? Oh, that was Matty Boots. Okay, so I missed it actually. So this is Matty Boots. Nice. And then Ricky Meeks. Cool. And then number 3 was Daytona. And then number 4 was Walt. Which is right here. Number 5 was Weez Dozba, which was... Is that me? Yep. We Dozba, baby. Let's go. I'll take number 5. You were 3, weren't you? Number 3, BOOT. You're 11th. Nico? Okay, nice. Oh, you're right. You were number 3. Yep. Who was number 4? Number 4 was Zigetsu, which was Daytona. Daytona was number 4. Okay, that's who it was. I mixed those 2 up. Perfect. Number 6 is Chiakti, which was Zuthez, right? Cool. Number 7 was Baizakdo, which was Big East, Texas. Cool. Almost done. 8 was Cheksigi. Who the fuck was Cheksigi? Oh, Mr. Midnight. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Number 9 was, I want to say maybe you, Rasha. I want to say maybe number 9 was you. Let's see. No, that's Misty Stepa. Damn, because Rasha, you might be picking like back in the draft here, 10th at least.
I love it. One of my favorite spots in the draft, man.
Nice. Justice. Yeah,
hey,
you actually might be 11th.
Is one of the guys named East Texas?
Yeah.
What is it?
I think
from East. Who's from East Texas?
Think that's,
where are you from?
That might be DeVince, bro. I think that low key might be DeVince. I'm not sure. I could be wrong though.
Oh wow, it could be.
It could be. Nico Dobbs, you got 11th, and then Always Cool Under Pressure. Check the status is 12. Yep, perfect. Wait, really? I didn't make that guy active? Let's see. Team settings, roster settings, no, league settings, manager settings, member. No, he should be assigned. That's weird. I don't know why that's saying that. From the unassigned members list? Oh, okay, here we go. Boom. All right, draft order is set. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a mock going. All right, I can exit out of this. Okay, race menu. Just going to Alt F4. Fuck it. We did it. Next time we do that, it'll be so much smoother. Definitely. Thank y'all so much for bearing with me here. Now we mock. Making my sleeper go crazy. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, every time I made a different roster selection or draft position update, it blew you guys up. So I apologize. But let me go ahead and send the mock link so y'all can jump in if you want. And yeah, I think it automatically put me where my draft order is. So that's pretty cool. 6 pick is weird. I think it's not my favorite, but I think this year it's not as bad as I think previous years have been in that specific spot. Like, I know I never truly liked drafting in like sort of 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, like sort of this middle tier area, this middle ground area. It always kind of feels bad in my mind, you know, but Justice Jordan, what pick are you? I think you're number 9 or something. What's your screen at? Are you in this league? How's the $20 league coming along? I think we have people who say they're down and haven't joined yet. I have at least 3 people that I know personally that said they were interested, that were wanting to do it. So they just haven't joined it yet. So if there are people actually on this stream right now who haven't thought about it or haven't heard about it, we have a $20 league for viewers. If you want to join, you're welcome to join. I'll put that league information in after this draft. I'll remind people after the mock that we have a $20 league that still has a few open spots. So I'll share that. It's all done through League Safe, or even I think we might even do it through Sleeper, because Sleeper has a league fee system that works, that they hold the funds on the platform and then they pay everybody out through the platform. So I don't have to do any of that. It's all through Sleeper. So we may do it that way. Whatever works, obviously I'm down for whatever. But yeah, if you guys haven't joined the mock draft yet and you guys want to, there's you are in 10. Oh, you are 10th. And yeah, it's Justice. I won the league last year. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, nice. Did you change your Twitch name? I don't remember your Twitch. Maybe you got a different Twitch name. Ball and Beast. What is that picture? Yeah. That is a funny picture. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in here, 6 people in here. 7 people in here. Nice. Okay, so maybe we'll wait for like one more person to join this league or join this mock, and then we can Seahawk number 1. Nice. Is that DK Metcalf? I think that's DK, isn't it? I don't know what I want at 3, to be honest. I mean, we'll see what the first 2 picks do. If Gibbs or if Gibbs or Bijan slip to 3, I think that makes your decision for you. Right, but if those two guys go 1 and 2, then yeah, you kind of have a decision between Chase, Puka. I'm surprised CMC is ranked this high. Actually, that's kind of crazy. Let's actually make sure that this is. Oops. All right, I think we have enough people in here. I'm gonna go ahead and start the mock. Actually, I'll put it in the chat as well in Discord. And then give it like another 60 seconds. Mocking now. Oh, nice. You actually nice. You hit people up. That's dope. All right, cool. Yeah, one more blast in chat. I'll do one more blast in chat before we start. So you guys can decide if you want to join the mock draft. Again, this is a mock. This is not a real draft. But I will be dropping a link to a real draft or to a real league that is drafting in about 3 weeks after this mock. So if you're sticking around for after the mock, I'll drop that link after. Or maybe I'll drop it like while we do the mock. And then I can kind of just like, why not? Let's just get that link ready. Cool. All right. And I think we got enough people, so I will go ahead and start it. We have 9 people in here, so that's almost all the slots. So I'll go ahead and start it. I'm drafting from the 5th position, and these are pretty much just about what our draft position will be for the viewer league. So what the fuck? So we see something crazy already. So CMC goes first pick overall. That is kind of wild. And I didn't realize that this 30-second timer is actually, let me go ahead and make it 60 seconds. All right, cool. So, wow, Jahmyr Gibbs literally made it to me in the 5th pick. What the hell is happening? That should never happen. That will never happen. But, oh, yeah, 30 is plenty. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Oops. Maybe I'll make it 30. You know what? Fine. It is a quick one. It's on stream. So we'll do 30. And I think it'll change after this round, right? Oh no, it just didn't update. Okay, there it is. All right, so we are seeing some pretty crazy picks in the first few picks already. CMC went first, then Jackson Smith-Njigba. So both Bijan and Gibbs went past pick 3. Ja'Marr Chase went number 4 overall. Gibbs made it to me at number 5, which is crazy, right? So in a real draft, I would be so freaking stoked if Jahmyr Gibbs made it to me at 5th pick overall, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to be normal. And then Amon-Ra went, then Puka, then CD. JT went after, then Cook, pick 10. Saquon at pick 11, then Achane, then Genty. So a lot of running backs are going back here. Chase Brown, AJ Brown, Kenneth Walker, then Omarion Hampton. Okay. Then Derrick Henry. Damn. Okay. I mean, not a lot of these back half of this first round or first half of the second round picks are making any big differences than what I would expect in terms of where I would pick these guys. Is probably pretty standard. But again, these first 5 picks, wild. Bro, these bots already getting griefed. Yeah, already griefed. Yeah, exactly. Are you gonna go live for our real draft day? Yeah, I'll be streaming for sure for draft day. Oh, I'm on the clock. Okay, I have a running back. Let's see. Do I want to double dip on running backs? Or do I want to probably get a wide receiver? Let's see. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get Nico Ballins. Not a pick I love, but I didn't want to get another running back. And I think I'm not a Josh Allen guy. So picking him up in the second round there probably felt a little bad. But we'll see if he makes it back to me. Maybe I actually pick him up in the 3rd. We'll see. Someone took my spot, so I'm not in the right draft position. Oh, okay, fair. If I get Bijan on 3, I might cry. Bro, I know. Like seriously, that's a gift. It's just being gifted to you. Here you go. Bijan in the 3rd. Bijan number 3 overall. Here's Jahmyr Gibbs number 5 overall. It's a literal gift. Puka at 7 is crazy. I mean, this is probably due to the sort of, we're all here. These are all, none of these are bot picks, right? Even though Jackson Smith-Njigba number 2 overall was pretty insane as well. But, Ja'Marr Chase and Amon-Ra over Puka makes sense to me, especially with Puka maybe potentially being suspended. So him at number 7 makes sense if we see a suspension come through. But if a suspension doesn't come through, that's a steal. That's a steal for sure. Oh, shit. I'm going to get Jeremiah Love. Nice. I was hoping he made it back to me, and he did. Not going to lie, I was going to take JSN at 3. I mean, somebody sniped your pick, but then kind of made your life easy, in that respect. It's like the one time we're getting your pick sniped actually was the better, outcome. Because then you got to pick up the guy that you expected wasn't going to be there, which is kind of funny. Barkley over Achane is crazy in your opinion. That's a fair, just based on what happened last year, that is fair. But I would say I am actually higher on Barkley than I am on Achane this year, as weird as that might sound. So I'm not too surprised that this is what happened. But, hey, what's up, the DFS outsider? How you doing, bro? So I'm not too surprised that this is how it went down, but I get it if you're more of an Achane guy. I think the Dolphins are just going to be a tough team to watch. It could be a lot of dump offs, sure, Malik Willis, I think, is looking good right now in some preseason action. I think we just got an update from Rasha that he was looking pretty decent. At least his, passer rating was good. So we'll see if that translates into the actual regular season and if that offense looks good. Because then, yeah, Achane might be a steal in the back half of the second round, or the first round, rather. But for now, I think I would do this 9 times out of 10 in drafts. If I'm in the back end of a draft and it's between Saquon and Achane, and I want to start with my running back first, I would probably go Saquon over Achane. But I mean, that's a fair call out. Saquon plays on an actual team, and that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it, right? Well, and now you have to count for Malik Willis. Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, again, in a vacuum, or if you flip those two guys, right? If you put Achane on the Eagles and you put Saquon Barkley on the Dolphins, I think you're obviously looking at those two guys much differently, right? And in that case, you're probably taking Achane like 9 times out of 10 over Saquon there. Let's see. So Teddy Mack is probably who I'm going to target here, but let me just take a look at any other guys down here that I might like. No. Luther Burden, that injury situation is making me a little nervous. You know what? Teddy Mack is probably the right call. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. Even though Garrett Wilson will probably have slid back to me. But I don't know. I just want to see what happens. In my thoughts, when you play from behind, lots of dump offs. And that is why he was good last year, because they were playing in a lot of negative game scripts last year, him being Achane, and he did get a ton of dump offs. Let's take a look at his player card. So last year, we saw him finish with a lot of really good fantasy finishes. 16.5, 26.5. Oh, wait. No, where's the actual points? Yeah. 16.1, 17.1, 16.6, 31 points, 12.8. So he literally high double digits, or like 15 plus points almost each and every week. His low game was 12.8, right? So, that's honestly pretty impressive. All right, David Montgomery is someone who I've been pretty high on. I'm going ahead and grabbing him because, oh shit, never mind. I was about to say I'm going to pick up David Montgomery. I wasn't even on the clock. Oh, and he took Price from you. Walt took Price. Damn, bro. Yeah, you wanted Price. You had a plan. Well, you just sniped David Montgomery from me, so I guess all's fair in love and draft picks. But I'm going to go ahead and pick up DJ Moore because both of the guys that I wanted at running back were sniped right before me. That's Jajarian Price and David Montgomery. So I'm going to go for another guy that I'm really high on, and that's DJ Moore. And that's fine with me. Like, it's good to have backup plans. You need to have backup plans, in fact. And this is why mock drafting is important, is because if a guy you were looking at gets sniped, you got to have a backup plan. And mock drafting gives you a really good indication of like how you're going to react to those, right? Because you have to be able to pivot in real time, especially if you're on the clock. So, this is obviously, we're not using Draft Doctor, which I'm still tweaking. I'm not using any kind of like draft aid in this particular. I'm just kind of like free flowing it. But in a real draft, I'd probably, in previous seasons, I would either have like a list in front of me or even a spreadsheet in front of me with my own personal rankings. This year, I'm going a little bit more sophisticated. I'm building a whole, it's called the Draft Doctor. It's like a whole system, right? Which I'm excited to show you guys, which I teased it a little bit before. And I'm not using it for this, but that is going to, I feel like, change my entire draft process and my preparation process as well. But preparation is key. Like, even if you're not super sophisticated, even if it's like a notepad with just like a list of guys that you want to get and maybe the round that you want to target them in, those two things alone will help you tremendously, right? Like, I promise you will not regret preparing for your draft, even in the most minor, minimal way, right? So yeah, a lot of good picks, it looks like. I mean, Lamar Jackson going in the 4th round, Drake May going in the 5th round. I've seen both of those guys go as early as like round 2, round 3, maybe round 3, round 4. So it looks like we're all kind of waiting on quarterbacks, which is a sign of savvy drafters, in my opinion, right? You were going to take the Seattle backfield. Oh man. So that means Price and then maybe Charbot as a stasher. Ty needs all the help he can get to beat me this year. Hey man, nice job taking it last year. You know, I hope you enjoyed your presents, your gifts, your rewards, or whatever. Right? I think it was like a Funko Pop and some Pokemon card packs, which it'll probably be something similar for the prize this year. I might try to up the stakes a little bit, so we'll see. I'll have something decided by the time we draft, that's for sure. But okay, we saw Dunze go, so maybe a Dunze sneaking up on draft boards a little bit with the news to Luther Burden. I know Luther Burden has been the hyped asset out of that wide receiver room, out of the Bears wide receiver room. He's looked good in camp. Let's see, I'm on the board. I've got quarterbacks. I can go Joe Burrow. I can go Jaden Daniels. I can go Jalen Hurts. I think what I want to do here is go Marvin Harrison Jr. because I think he actually could return on this ADP like really nicely. He actually feels like a really nice value pick to me, especially at this round. So, you know, I've got good depth at wide receiver already. If Garrett Wilson, for whatever reason, doesn't pan out with Geno Smith, like I've got DJ Moore who could slot in. I've got Marvin Harrison Jr. who could potentially be like a wide receiver 3 flex guy, right out of the gate. So, you know, I think that's definitely reasonable to pick him up there. I need a Pickens jersey this year. All right, yeah, we gotta. I gotta get like sponsored by like what's that jersey? What is that? What is it? Custom or no? Pristine Auction. I gotta get sponsored by like Pristine Auction or some shit so we can get some signed jerseys that we can give away. That definitely sounds like a lot of fun. He was banged up last year. You talking about Marvin Harrison Jr.? That's probably fair to give him that because I know he had a shit year. Hell yeah! All right, now I'm looking at running backs probably or more wide receiver depth. I'm still pushing on quarterback. I'm still foregoing quarterbacks. You know what I will do? I'll probably go RJ Harvey because with the whole J.K. Dobbins potential, you know, missing time or not even missing serious time, but just the fact that he could be hobbled going into the year. It's just music to my ears as an RJ Harvey believer, right? And, you know, he gets worked in the passing game. He's actually not too bad. Let's see what he did last year when he had some good stretches. So when J.K. Dobbins went down, he immediately started getting use in not necessarily the passing game, but definitely around the goal line, right? So he had 2 touchdowns in week 8. Then he went 3 weeks with no touchdown, but then he had 2 touchdowns again in week 13. And then 3 touchdowns or 1 touchdown each of the following weeks. So, you know, and actually did get some decent passing work as well on top of that, right? 6 for 6, 25 yards. 5 for 4, 71 yards. 6 for 5, 33 yards, and a touchdown through the air. So actually 5 straight weeks with touchdowns to finish the year, essentially. You know, so not bad. And I believe in the talent, you know. The Broncos backfield is so bad it's crazy. Bottom 10 for sure. Call me crazy. Here, let's look at the stats. I mean, you're not wrong for saying they weren't good rushing wise, right? But if we go ahead and look at where's Denver, look at their offense. Rushing attack, where are they? They had 2,000 rushing yards, right in the middle of the pack, 16th out of 32 in rushing yards. Their average, right in the middle of the pack, 15 out of 32, 4.4 yards per carry. That was their rushing average as a team. 18 rushing touchdowns. That was 11th out of 32. So in the top third of the NFL about, right? So not great, but, you know, definitely room for improvement, I would say. So I'm not completely writing them off rushing wise, but for sure room for improvement. And, you know, I think it's fair to say that they weren't like lighting it up on the ground last year or anything like that, right? Okay, our first defense goes off the board to a bot. Round 8, pick 1, LA Rams. Couldn't be me, but, you know, I get it. They should be a pretty good fantasy defense this year. So if I was to be a fantasy defense guy where I'm targeting fantasy defenses early and I just want the best kind of set and forget fantasy defense, then LA Rams would be it. And, you probably have to pick them up right around here because they should have a pretty good value all year long in the defensive position for fantasy. So let's see. We see Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert go right before me. I am in the market for a quarterback. Jalen Hurts going in the 8th round is kind of disrespectful. Can we disrespect him a little more? I'm almost scared to say yes, but I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm actually going to wait on him even more and go for a guy like Mekhi Lemon, who I know, sorry, Skies, you're an Eagles fan, so you're probably maybe mad because I just probably sniped your guy, so I apologize. But I believe in the talent, and I think he actually could. He does have a path to success, and he's going to be more like the volume guy. Stole your eagle. I called it. I'm sorry, bro. My bad. What's wrong with you? I forgot you were right behind me. If I had remembered you were right behind me before I picked him, I probably would have let you have him. But yeah, my bad. You deserve it. Nah. I should have let you have him. That's all good. It's just I probably, if I wanted a receiver, which I kind of did, I would have probably grabbed, if it wasn't going to be Mekhi, it probably would have been Quentin Johnson, who Walt grabbed just 2 picks later. But Blake Corum is a nice running back pick by you. I like that pick for sure, especially because you don't have a ton of RB depth. So that was a good kind of stasher, like a bench stasher. Gonna have hamstring problems his whole career, just like Devonta. Oh shit, is that what he's dealing with right now? Slowed by hamstring injury. Yeah, true. Yeah, we didn't actually talk about it today on the news segment, but that is definitely something to pay attention to. So luckily I have a bunch of depth that I don't need him to start right away, and I wouldn't have picked him up to be a starter for me anyways. So I'm hoping that he comes online and becomes somebody later on in the year. But Jalen Hurts goes right before me. If he didn't get picked up, I probably would have snagged him. In that case, I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes because I think, again, angry Pat year. I just have a feeling all of the disrespect that they got last year after a really tragic season, and then the way it ended with his ACL, and then maybe Kelsey being older and people doubting him. I'm sure there's going to be some situation there where it's like the Antonio Gates, Phillip Rivers twilight of Antonio Gates' career, where it was just force-feeding Antonio Gates, future Hall of Famer tight end, still getting it done in his 30s. We saw that with guys like Tony Gonzalez as well. There's another tight end that did it mid to late 30s that I'm blanking on right now. But yeah, that's my red pill on Patrick Mahomes. And I'm sure Zuthis is happy about that because I know Zuthis is a KC fan. You deserve it. You took Chase. Oh, right before me. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. I was getting you back for stealing my guy. That's exactly what. I didn't even realize that, but now that you mention it, yeah. Weishart's still here. Straight up, I don't know why he was still there, bro. But hey, you got him. You were able to get your eagle. Patrick Willis. Is that going to be Patrick Mahomes this year? That's hilarious. Justice Jordan sounds like a Cowboys fan. Oh shit! Are you a Cowboys fan? I forget. Or maybe you're a Giants fan. Backfield some trash. Are you talking about Giants or Cowboys? Put my QB in a room. You're talking about your team. Yeah. Okay. Now I probably need a tight end, and you know what I'm gonna do? I got Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna get the Travis Kelce stack. So I'm betting I'm going all in on Patrick Mahomes. I forgot I actually didn't get Rashi with this team, so that's fine. I'm going all in on Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce having some type of twilight, last dance season where they just start balling out of control as a nostalgic vintage, vision that we've seen from them before, right? I am a Dallas fan, yes. Oh, damn, you called this, Stars, guys. That's hilarious, bro. Did you know that already? That's funny. All right, so Eagles defense go. So now there are 4 defenses off the board already. Rams was first, then Seahawks, then Texans, then Eagles. Okay, right about what I would expect in terms of the defenses and the order in which they went. Maybe would be a little earlier than maybe I would have expected in our real draft. I'm not sure we'll see defenses go that early, but that again just depends on the league that you're in. So, but the tight ends that I probably, if I didn't want to get the stack with Kelsey and Mahomes, I would have for sure grabbed either Goddard or Ferguson is fine too, actually, in this range. I might have probably targeted Gadsden, though. I am warming up to Gadsden because I don't think Njoku will be like a full season threat to Gadsden's value, right? And we don't even see people drafting Njoku for that matter. So I think the sentiment around Njoku is like, sure, he could be okay, but is he going to be a real threat to that situation? Like, probably not. So, okay, it's on me. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab a depth piece like Jordan Mason. Just depth. It's my fourth running back. He's someone on my bench. He's a pretty high caliber handcuff. We talked about this, I think, last week. But, he's not someone who's going to be that relevant unless something were to happen to Aaron Jones. He's not somebody who gets worked into the pass game. Aaron Jones will probably get that pass work. There may be a world where like he starts vulturing touches at the red line or red zone or the goal line or even short yardage scenarios or just as a change of pace type of role where maybe he's worked in more than we've seen in the past when Aaron Jones is still healthy and in this offense. But, regardless, again, he's kind of like a high-end handcuff, and I'm not expecting him to do much until, again, something maybe were to happen to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, he's like a lock to miss 3 to 4 games each year. Let's be honest. So, yeah. Let's see what your team's looking like, Rasha. You got CeeDee Lamb, Amari Hampton, Javonte Williams. Oh, you got Tyler Warren. Nice, dude. Then you got Tootin. I like the Adunze pickup. So that's your wide receiver 2. You did get Dak. Nice. So you got that CD Dak stack. And then Alec Pierce, Corey Krosky-Merritt, Jaden Reed, Brandon Aubrey. Nice. So you got the heavy hitters on the Dallas Cowboys. I like that. Obviously, aside from Pickens and maybe Ferguson, but you got the people that matter outside of Pickens.
Well, typically I would take a kicker that early, but I thought I'd go ahead and take Aubrey. They have him ranked high. I mean, he is one of the best kickers in the league. The Cowboys will, that's my team. And they were
right
one of the best offenses in the league. I mean,
they do.
Even if they have tough matchups, they'll just have to air it out. If they have matchups to where they, will be in control of the game, they'll ball. They will. I'm really high on the Cowboys, and I think I've learned to remove my bias about this team in the years past. They've burned plenty of times. It's the Cowboys. They'll do that to you.
Right.
I'm just
clock,
really high on this team for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I am as well. And it's not just like, the bias that I have. Okay, so you auto drafted Broncos defense. Not bad.
Oh, shoot.
That's okay. I distracted you. I'll take that. I'll take the blame for that one. But then goes Chris Rodriguez, man. Kyler Murray. Yeah. So now what I'm looking for is potentially like a tight end in case Kelsey doesn't pan out. I do have a lot of great depth on wide receiver and running back. So, I don't see anybody that I want to take a shot on in those positions. So what I will do is actually Baltimore Ravens. Oh, Hunter Henry. Okay, that's fine. I said I wanted a backup tight end. Hunter Henry is fine. He's droppable if I need to. If Travis Kelce is fine. Dog, there's no way you got 12. Check the status. What's good, bro? Yes, you did get 12. We all watched it. It was in real time. If you want to go back and watch the VOD, it was very convoluted. So you missed a pretty hilarious moment where we were trying to figure out what the hell the names were on these marbles. But we got it done, and there were witnesses, man. You got 12th pick. Sorry to say, Do you want to trade? You know what? I got 5th pick. Do you want 5th pick? Do you want to trade? I might be willing to trade you just straight up 5th for 12th. I don't know if we want to do stuff like that, but maybe. Okay, I picked up the Ravens. I auto-picked. That's fine. I probably wouldn't have picked up the Ravens, but that's not a problem. Nice, Denzel Boston. I like that pick. I actually like that pick a lot, Zutas. Even though he's on the Browns, I like his talent. I like his draft profile. I actually think out of those two wide receivers, him and Casey Concepcion, who went 2 rounds earlier, I think he actually could end up being like the more valuable one out of those 2 guys in the long run. So, yeah. Damn, then we see Jerry Jeudy go, Coleman, Alvin Kamara. Who's this guy? Is this guy Jonah Coleman? Yeah, he's the rookie running back in Denver. So, in fact, if RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins go down, or maybe J.K. Dobbins goes down and then RJ Harvey isn't getting the full workload, we probably will see this guy, Jonah Coleman, start getting touches in that backfield. Auto pick 2, I wouldn't have taken Andrews. Shit. Yeah. I keep forgetting I'm on the clock. That it's like, you got to pay attention, man. These 30-second countdowns, man, they go quick. They go quick. Gotta say hi to Kitty Biscuits. What's up? What's up? She never wants to like. She always looks awkward when I try to show her off. She's always like, "Dad, why are you doing this? Stop holding me up in front of your friends. Like, why are you showing? Why, like, I'm just trying to sit on your lap, Dad." Who wants 10th pick? Shit, I might take 10th pick too. What? You know, who wants 5th pick? You know what I mean? Like, who wants 5th pick? You know? Make me an offer. No, I'm just kidding. I might just literally do the 1-to-1 swap. But, okay, there's 2 more picks left. 2 more rounds left.
Auto pick.
Oh, nice. You got Sadiq. That was probably the backup tight end I would have grabbed if I didn't get Henry. But I already do have Garrett Wilson, so I don't want like too many pass catchers on the Jets, you know?
But we have seen rookie tight ends in the past, have great seasons. So plenty of athletic prowess. He should be a part of this offense.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Second pass option after Garrett Wilson.
Right. Exactly. He should. He really should. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing him pop off and then he's either a waiver darling or, again, someone who got stashed and then becomes relevant in like a few weeks. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and grab Tyler Algier because I did get Jeremiah Love, and so I'm basically just getting a handcuff for Jeremiah Love. And someone who, again, he might be vulturing touchdowns from him on a week-to-week basis. That is probably true. But there won't be a time where you're confident in starting Tyler Algier unless Jeremiah Love goes down. So, again, just insurance pick, potential flex if, I need to play both of the Carolina or Cardinal running backs in the same week. That obviously is not ideal, but, if it gets desperate, sure. All right, so now I need to get a kicker, and it looks like... Damn, who picked up my boy? Oh, Nico Dobbs picked up Evan McFearless. All right, that's fine. I'll pick up Harrison Mevis, even though the Rams are known for going for it on 4th down. In fact, I want to say Kyron Williams had like the most 4th down conversions out of any running back in the NFL last year. So just take that with it how you want. But clearly the Rams will go for it on 4th down. Sean McVay is not scared of going for it on 4th down. Right. Wait, can I think about trading my 5th for your 12th? Sure. Think about it. Let me know. I'm like 50% sure I'm willing to do it. But, if I can get Gibbs in the 5th like this, I'm sure I won't. But like that would be the one thing that would make me hesitant is if I can get a guy like Gibbs or even Jamar Chase. If I had a chance of getting either of those guys in the 5th pick overall, I wouldn't trade out of it. But, in a real world, those guys are not going to be their 5th pick for me, so I wouldn't mind trading out of the 5th pick. You know what I mean? Give you an hour? All right, yeah, let me know. DM me on Sleeper. Nice. You like your draft? All right, cool. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at these teams. Yeah, I actually like my draft too. This was a good draft. I think everybody drafted pretty well. People waited on quarterbacks, save for this computer who went Josh Allen in the third round. But, Jalen Hurts made it to the 9th round, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if that's like a good thing or if that's just like we're just being disrespectful to Jalen Hurts. But that's a pretty good value. I know he's been kind of going like between rounds 5 and 7 typically, right? So you already got like 3 different rounds or 3-round value on Jalen Hurts. And you have Caleb Williams as your starter. All right, so let's go through these. I'll start with Walt. So Walt had Bijan, Kyron Williams, Chris Olave, Tedero McMillan. Why did I say that? I was thinking Terry McLaurin. Jadarian Price, Mike Wilson, Tony Pollard, who I like a lot, who we just talked about a little bit earlier. Quentin Johnston, Matt Stafford as his first quarterback off the board. Dallas Goedert as his first tight end off the board. So a lot of great wide receiver and running back depth for the first 8 rounds. And then Jaden Higgins, then Deshaun Stribling in the 12th round. So like we were talking about, we're seeing Deshaun Stribling now. His draft capital is continuing to rise. He's like 12th round honestly feels kind of low to me. Like I said, I would probably be willing to take him in the 10th. In fact, if I was looking for a wide receiver in any of those rounds, I probably would have targeted Stribling, but I already had a ton of depth there, so I wasn't in the market for a running back or a wide receiver in those rounds. But like, I love Stribling in the 12th, and then Mark Andrews in the 13th is not too bad. If he comes online, he actually could be really solid. Vikings D, Pinheiro, kicker. So I give you an A. I actually think your team is probably one of the better drafts we've seen in all the mocks so far. So good shit on that. Jadarian Price in the 5th. I feel like he's going to be solid, man. I feel like he's going to be really solid. So you would take Stribling in the 8th, by the way. Yeah. I mean that's obviously a reach a little bit, but I wouldn't blame you, bro. Especially if he's like, if you believe in him, get your dues. You know what I mean? Like I say that all the time. Go get your guys. I'm an advocate for it. I reach all the time. In my real drafts, I'm constantly reaching. Sometimes it bites me in the butt, but sometimes it pays off in a big way. So, all right. Next, we're going to go Starry. Jamar Chase in the 4th pick overall. That's pretty nice. Then you went Drake London, Brock Bowers, Luther Burden. So for your first 4 picks, no running backs. But you were able to get some pretty good value in your running back in later rounds, for your running backs in later rounds. David Montgomery, then you went Caleb Williams, then you went Rico Dowdle, Blake Corum, and then Jalen Hurts in the 9th is, again, a little disrespectful to Jalen Hurts, but, we understand why. And we're all here making this conscious decision not to pick Jalen Hurts up. So it makes sense that, you got some savvy drafters in here. He's going to slide a little bit, especially after last year's performance and especially after A.J. Brown left. And he's just someone who we might not see rush at the level that we're consistently seeing him rush at, right? Last year was a big depression in that front. So I think people are probably looking at his rushing numbers last year and are looking at it like he might have another low rushing total this year. And, 420 yards was his lowest ever, actually, since his rookie year. And I think, I'd be surprised if he gets over 500 rushing yards this year. So I don't know why I'm being that harsh on Jalen Hurts, but I think for a backup, he's like he's like the best backup quarterback you could have, right? So good shit. And then you went Eagles defense: Sharbo, Coker, Shaheed, Tyjae Spears, Jake Elliott. Obviously, running backs are your biggest issue here. I'll still give you a B because of your, value pickups on like Jalen Hurts, and then you have good wide receivers. I'd still give you a B though. Again, your running back situation, even though you have 5 running backs, so theoretically you have depth. A lot of these guys, Blake Corum, Zach Charbonnet, and Tyjae Spears, they're like the backups on their team, and so it really wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to start any of those guys on a week-to-week basis unless something were to happen to the guys in front of them. Right, so that's just the one thing. All right, my team, I got Gibbs, Nico Ballins, Jeremiah Love, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr., RJ Harvey, Mekhi Lemon. Then I got Patty Mahomes as my number 1 quarterback and my only quarterback. Stacked him with Travis Kelce in the following round. Then I got Jordan Mason, Hunter Henry, Baltimore Ravens, Tyler Algier, and then Mevis as my kicker. I think my biggest question mark is really my quarterback, right? Patrick Mahomes is my only quarterback. It's a little risky, That said, I've got guys who like Hunter Henry or even Tyler Algier or Jordan Mason. If I needed to drop one of those guys to pick up a quarterback, should Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce potentially not be viable, I can do that, and I'm not going to feel too bad about it. I would give myself a B plus, right? Not my favorite draft, but not the worst. Zuthis, and I'm going to try to run through these because I know we're already past 2 hours, and your boy's getting a little sleepy. But even though it is early, I know I had an early morning today though. But yeah, Zuthis, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Parker Washington, and then Justin Herbert in the 8th round. I like that value. You got Houston Texans defense, and then you got George Kittle, Dicker the kicker. Kyler Murray's your backup. Denzel Boston, I really like that as a nice late round flyer. And then Juwan Johnson, who actually we were talking about with this Jordan Tyson injury, could end up being pretty valuable, low key. So you got him in the 14th round. If Kittle doesn't pan out the way we hope, Juwan Johnson actually could be an easy plug and play for you and might end up proving that he should be flexed on your team when all is said and done, because you only have 3 wide receivers who are going to be startable each and every week. Denzel Boston is obviously going to be a stasher, and so your biggest concern in my mind is your wide receiver depth. But you did a really good job at getting a lot of solid running backs. I like all these guys, except for maybe I'm a little hesitant on Jalen Warren, Pittsburgh, right? That's just my bias potentially, but solid draft. I actually give you B plus, man. Solid draft, nice. Let's see. Damn, we got I'll try to crush these. So Justice League. Puka Nacua, or Justice, Puka Nacua in the 7th pick overall, right? If he doesn't get suspended, great value. Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Zay Flowers, Quinshon Judkins, Harold Fannin. So 2 Browns. 3 Browns. You actually had Judy down here too. So a lot of Browns. I might give you a little bit of a knock for that, right? That might. You actually have to go. You actually had a good draft. Let's go. Hey, hell yeah, bro. Nah, seriously, I think this might have been your best draft so far, Zuthis, for sure. But yeah, Justice. 3 Browns is probably like 2 Browns too many. If I'm taking any Browns, I'm probably only going to get maybe 1 on my team, and it probably would be Denzel Boston. But just because of his draft capital, he's like a late round flyer. But you got 3, so that's not too bad, right? Let's just hope for the best on that respect. But then you got Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr., so you got that stack, which I think Brian Thomas Jr. actually could surprise people, similar to like Marvin Harrison Jr., where you're kind of getting him in these sort of mid rounds, but could outperform his ADP because we know the draft capital in the NFL is like top tier, right? First round pedigree. He had a down year last year. I think he could put it together this year, and Trevor Lawrence got paid, right? He's definitely a quarterback we've seen have a lot of fantasy success and be able to keep people around him relevant in a fantasy aspect. So, if Brian Thomas Jr., who finished as a wide receiver 4, I want to say in his rookie year, right? Yeah, wide receiver 4. He can get back to that at least like top 15 wide receiver status, right? So that actually I like a lot. And then Romeo Doubs, Deebo Samuel, nice depth there. Brock Purdy, good backup. Chris Rodriguez, Jerry Jeudy, we know how I feel about the Browns. And then you got the New England kicker and Chargers defense. Pretty solid. Can I go back to the marble stuff? Let me know if you want 6. Oh, yeah. If you guys want to trade draft picks, you can. Or draft positions, rather. I'll give Justice a... RB depth is not bad, but the 3 Browns I did say I would give you a knock for. You only have 1 tight end, even though Fannin is technically supposed to be like a main target in that offense. I'm still kind of hesitant. I do like the talent there, but it's going to be tough for him to get in the end zone. So you're picking him up kind of at a premium spot in the draft, like 6th pick or 6th round overall. Is not where I like to pick up my tight ends, especially if you're talking about a guy on the Browns, right? No matter how talented they are. So I'd give you like a B minus. I don't want to be too harsh, but especially good value for Puka in the 7th round or 7th pick overall. Especially if, again, assuming no suspension, I'll give you a B minus. All right, moving on to Rash's team. Rasha went CD Lamb in the 8th pick overall. I like that a lot. I think he's going to be super valuable this year if he plays all 17 games. I think he could easily finish as a top 5 wide receiver. So that just music to my ears and music to anybody who's a Dallas Cowboys fan's ears. And then Amari Hampton, Javonte Williams, Tyler Warren. I love that pick. I love picking up Tyler Warren in the 4th. I don't pick up tight ends typically that early. Tyler Warren is the one exception. And not just because we share a name. I've said this before. It's just the situation and the talent. It's just hard to ignore. So I think he could easily finish as like a top 2 tight end this year. And where you're getting him, like, decent value. I just looked at it low-key. Loved the 3-4 turn at 12. Interesting. Okay, yeah, we're going to take a look. I would say, okay, we got to still look at Rasha's team. So Bashal Tutin, Odunze, Daki P. So you got the Daki P CD Lamb stack. Then you went Alec Pierce, who I think has been sliding a little bit in drafts. I think I've seen him go as early as like round 7, round 6. So maybe, this injury issue situation that's looming over him is definitely depressing his draft value a little bit. He's still going to be great if he actually does play, but that is something I think is concerning to me for sure. Then you went Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I love that pick. And then Jaden Reed. Not in love with that pick, but not the worst pick, right? Then you went Aubrey. Then you went Broncos defense. I think that might have been an auto pick, but that's fine. And then you went Jonah Coleman, who's the rookie running back out of Denver. And then you went Kenyon Sadiq, who's the rookie tight end out of New York Jets. And then you went Beck, who is a wide receiver in Raiders land, and we'll see what happens. But that's probably someone you can easily throw on the wire. I'll give you a lot of B's. I'll give this a B. So far, I like Walt's draft the most, even more than my own team. Ball and Beast. Let's see. You got JT, Kenneth Walker, Devonta Smith, Colston Loveland, Drake May, Carnell Tate, Ramondre Stevenson, Michael Pittman Jr., Wandale, Matthew Golden, Rashad White, Khalil Shakir, Alvin Kamara, Tank Dell, Isaiah Pacheco. So straight up, no no defense, no kicker. So this is actually what I normally would do in like a real draft. So I can appreciate this draft. So I won't knock you for foregoing to pick up a kicker or a defense, because that's something I'm liable to do. But you also didn't pick up a backup quarterback or a second tight end. So you're all in on your wide receiver and running back depth, which again, technically is how I like to compose my teams, in real drafts. So I'm not even mad at that. I think where I will give you a knock is that maybe some of these wide receivers are unfortunately not going to be as consistent as you would like. Devonta Smith should be fine, right? But then you got Carnell Tate as your wide receiver 2. I don't know if he'll be your consistent wide receiver 2 week in, week out. He might have some growing pains. If we see him sealing out, Carnell Tate actually will be a solid wide receiver 2. In the fantasy realm, right? He'll be slotted in your wide receiver 2 spot each and every week. If he struggles, again, there may be weeks where we see Carnell Tate just completely unstartable. There could be a stretch of time where we see, especially in tough matchups, where he's just unstartable, right? Houston will be probably nearly unstartable. This game against Philly, week 2, it will be a tough matchup for sure. There are some softer matchups, right? He does have Cleveland matchup. He does have a Cincinnati Bengals matchup, but Cincinnati Bengals has improved their defense as well. So we saw him struggle in the preseason. I don't want to put too much stock into what we saw last night because, 0 for 3, there was a good defensive play made by a defensive back from San Francisco. We saw that play. Growing pains for sure. I still like it. But again, you're probably in the early part of the year. You're probably starting Michael Pittman over Carnell Tate. You might even be starting Wan'Dale Robinson over Carnell Tate, right? So that's what I'll say. But you did fill out with a lot of extra depth. So, if you don't need to start Carnell Tate, or if you can't start Carnell Tate, you at least have some options to plug and play, right? I would give your team... I did say I like this draft composition, but I just am worried maybe about some of the picks you made. Like Ramondre, I might be a little bit worried about him. And again, Carnell Tate, even though I'm high on him, I'm worried about his immediate impact. You don't need him to start for you right away. You do have options. I'll give you a B minus. Okay. Lightning Archer, James Cook, love that pick. AJ Brown, love that pick. Lab McConkey, love that pick. Cam Scattaboo, first pick I don't love on your team, but not bad. Then you went J-Mo, who I'm surprised made it to the 5th round. Then Christian Watson, then DK Metcalf, then Chris Godwin. So you picked up, from the first 8 rounds, you picked up 6 wide receivers and only 2 running backs. So that is probably where I'm going to give you the biggest knock. I do like that you went wide receiver depth, but you probably had to at least get one more running back out of these first 6 rounds for me to feel confident in your running back room. Because if your backup running backs are Gainwell and Woody Marks, and that's it, that's a little worrisome to me, especially with a guy like Scattaboo, right? Who could potentially, it's ironic because, I call him the headbutt dinosaur or whatever. I don't even know what the hell that dinosaur is called. We use that, sort of endearingly with Cam Scattaboo. But seriously, man, he's a guy who just will run through a fucking brick wall. So someone like him that's kind of a little more injury prone in that respect makes me nervous to not have like a direct backup that in a pinch can just plug and play if Cam were to like miss some time with a concussion or anything else. So that's my biggest deficiency for you here is what I see. But you got good quarterback depth. I like that with Jackson Dart and Baker Mayfield. You have a flyer with Casey Concepcion, and Brent Strange and Dalton Schultz are both solid tight ends who you're getting at the back of drafts, right? That could end up being pretty solid each and every week. So, and you also didn't draft a kicker or a defense, so I like it. I'm not going to knock you for that. I'll give this team, again, running back depth is the concern here. I'll give this team a B minus as well. A lot of B's, a lot of B minuses, a couple B pluses. And the final team we'll do a quick grade for is Nico Dobbs. So, Zuthas, you're saying you have a good idea of what you're going to get for the 6th pick? Nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, your team, I like your team a lot. All right, last team we're going to grade here, Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown. Honestly, solid 2 picks. You could have picked up Achane. You could have picked up Ashton Genty. I think you dodged both of those guys in a good way, and I think you'll be really happy with Chase Brown for sure. Saquon, I think, will have a better year than he had last year, so at least we can look for an improvement on that front. But, people are kind of sagging off of him a little bit. Understandably, this offense might struggle, but to say that he's going to have stretches like last year where he literally couldn't score above 12 points or above 13.1 points for 4 straight weeks as a first-round pick, that hurts, right? He did finish the year pretty strong with 3 back-to-back games with touchdowns and 15-plus fantasy finishes, 17-plus fantasy finishes, 17-plus fantasy point finishes. But then week 17, he let you down in a big way at Buffalo with 6.8 fantasy points. So maybe that's what's leaving leaving a bad taste in people's mouths. He's still in his prime. He's 29 years old, so I wouldn't say he's like hitting the cliff necessarily. So that, I am maybe higher on Saquon than other people. I do believe in the talent. I think he's good. I think this team might need to rely on him more, especially in the dump-off situation with the absence of A.J. Brown. So I'm higher on him than maybe other people. And like I said, I think it was a good pick, picking him up over Ashton Genty and Achane. And then you were able to get Chase Brown right after, right? Then you got Malik Neighbors, Igbuka, Mike Evans, Sam Laporta, Jaden Daniels, Jonathan Brooks, who I love, got him in the 8th round. Then you went Downs, Stephon Diggs, Likely, Tyler Shuck, Patriots defense, McFearless. You got my boy McFearless. And then you went Mike Washington, who is a rookie on the Raiders as a flyer, who I'm not too familiar about. But, in these late rounds, that's where you want to kind of take a rookie flyer. So if you know something about him that you like, nice pick. You feel like doing a mock draft at least once a week, or at least each week before the season starts, helps you give an idea of where everyone is going. Dude, I try to do mock drafts. I mean, we've been doing them almost every stream for the past week and a half now, but I would suggest doing them on your own as well, right? Definitely do a mock draft on your own. I would even do it on other platforms. If you're, sure, main leagues are probably on Sleeper, but if you have a backup league on like ESPN or Yahoo, even if you don't, I would say try doing that, because it does give you a different sort of look because there are different rankings, there are different types of people who draft on different platforms, as weird as that might sound, right? So definitely try that as well. You don't have to go too overboard on that. Obviously, like, I'm a degenerate when it comes to this stuff, so I'll fucking do mocks on every platform just to see what's what. Plus, I do have, like, again, 9 different leagues on 4 different platforms, so you kind of have to, you know, do your diligence in that respect. But yeah, no, I would try it. Zuth Nico Dobbs is saying, you think you deserve an A2? I'll give you. I actually like your depth at both wide receiver and running back, and those are usually the things that will give people the biggest knocks for. You have Laporta, who could have a nice year this year, so you have a decent upside there, even though you picked him up in a higher, like, you know, high-ish round. But you did a good job again at building depth at both running back and wide receiver. I would say your biggest knock is really just that, you know, maybe your running back depth is slightly lacking just a little bit. Maybe I would have liked to see you pick up one additional running back here, but not even. Like, 4 running backs is solid. And Brooks is someone who, like, could end up being flex worthy, or even someone who, like, you might be running 3 running backs, right, with these guys. So I actually like your team a lot. I'll give you an A-. I'll give you an A-. That's solid. You know, Shuck as a backup quarterback to Jaden Daniels is good too. So yeah, A-, dude. Solid team. All right. Well, the other apps are so bad, unfortunately. Yeah, it is bad. It is bad. But you know, if you are drafting in any of those other platforms, I would at least say do one mock on that platform, just so you can get used to the actual draft app, right? The draft. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? The draft client, right? Because sometimes they update them, and you know, they don't always look this clean. Like, Sleeper is a pretty clean draft client. I think the clunkiest is like maybe Yahoo, but they've actually updated theirs pretty recently, so it's not too bad anymore. NFL.com, which is no longer a thing. I think they got folded into ESPN.com fantasy now. So yeah, but you know, hey, you win the draft, GGs. Yeah. Well, you got the best draft grade for sure. But you know, Nico Dobbs not too far behind. And then I would say like maybe mine or Starry Skies has like the 3rd best team, and Rasha too. But everybody did pretty well, honestly. I like, nobody had like a shit draft. So, you know, it wasn't a check the status 15 straight quarterbacks type of deal, you know, which I still get a kick out of that. I tell people about that story. Fucking hilarious. But yeah, how is CBS fantasy draft app? I actually have never used CBS. That's probably the one app I've never used. You got a league in there for $100 buy-in. Interesting. Well, yeah, I've never used it. Definitely do a mock draft on that app platform though, if you've never done one, just to get used to the draft client at least, right? Assuming not another mock happening. Yeah, we're already 2 hours and 40 minutes in. I think this is probably where we're gonna call it. I gotta go get some dinner. Early din. What time is it? 6:40? Yeah. But this was a lot of fun. I think we got a lot of really good drafting out of this one, and you know, we had 9 people in it, so that's pretty awesome. Hey, all QBs is a great strategy, bro. I mean, if you can show me a draft that pays off somehow with that strategy in a real league, I would literally, I'm not gonna give you any money or anything like that, but I'd be willing to like, I don't know, fucking eat like the spiciest pepper in the world or some shit on stream. I don't know. I would be willing to do something kooky for you, man. Just like, all right, this incoming draft, dude. Please don't force yourself to do it, bro. Especially not in a money league. I would hate to have you go all quarterbacks and then end up fucking yourself over for that league because you wanted to do something funny and get me to eat the hottest pepper in the world on stream or some shit. The only way I'll do that is if you make the playoffs in a draft where you pick up at least, like, let's just say at least 7 quarterbacks. At least half your team has to be fully quarterbacks, and you have to make the playoffs. If you can pull that off, I will eat a fucking California Reaper on stream. Book it. But don't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want you to do it. All right, all right, see you, Walt. All right, bro. Bet in this league? Oh, shit. Okay, well, maybe I made a challenge that might end up biting me in the ass, but we'll see. Better go buy that pepper, buddy. That's hilarious. All right, y'all. All right, well, hey, we're going to sign off. We're going to call it here, but this was a lot of fun. A lot of great news covered, a lot of great mock draft action. So we'll see you guys next time. But we'll have some more mocks, and we're getting closer to our own draft. So and we did the marbles. We got our draft order. So have fun mock drafting in your now known order. And see y'all later. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. See you, Zuthis. See you, Walt. See you, Starry Skies. See you, Check the Status. Nico Dobbs, Rasha, Zuthis, Justice, all the folks, Lightning Arc, Ball and Beast. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Have a good weekend. And Rasha, did you want to say anything before we dip?
Yeah, man, it was a blast time. I appreciate you having me. Shout out to everyone who joined us. Value heading into drafts, and just come on back for the next one on day. Hey. I appreciate you guys.
Yes. Couldn't have said it better myself. Always appreciate y'all. Much love. And have a great weekend. We'll see y'all next time. Next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific. Peace.